good morning, good evening, and everything in between. How are we all today? Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well and staying safe and making good choices. Hi. Oh my goodness, today is the day. After so many delays that kept this apart from us, we are finally here. Thank you for the check-in. Hello. Oh my goodness, here they come. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Hi. Are we excited for today? Because I'm like kind of very excited. I made sure to make sure that like I don't look at them as much as possible so that you get like in real time live thoughts and processes kind of thing. And like I basically grabbed them and saved them, and I tried to not think about them. Some of them I failed because I was very like, oh my god, I already know. So like I did the best that I could with the circumstances I was given, because obviously these are not given to me blinded. So we're gonna be a little bit silly for that, you know? And I probably won't be able to get through everyone. I will put a disclaimer that this will not be a long stream today. Unfortunately, I cannot be going until super late tonight. Thank you everyone for the check-ins. Hello everyone. But I am hoping to at least get through a good amount today. We'll have a good little chat. Everything that I say is my personal opinions, my own personal thoughts, my thought processes when it comes to the tier listing, because a part of this was discussing, oh, would this make me cry as a cosplayer? Or like, oh yeah, no, this is really good for entry-level cosplayers. This is coming from my beliefs, my thoughts, my processes, and how I view the piece. What is easy for me is difficult for other people. What is difficult for me could be super easy for other people. For anyone who is joining us that is new today, I am a cosplayer of 10 years. Woo-wee! I have competed in cons in my state, so nothing too big or too extravagant yet, just because I've been keeping it very hobby. I have received Best in Show for a costume before, and I have placed in multiple comps as well. So I've got multiple placements, and I've received Best in Show solo, and then I was in a group that also received Best in Show. So I have some funny little local titles to my name. Some of my pieces are titled. And you know, for me, I tend to specialize, like for me personally, what I tend to kind of focus on is fabric painting and like decoration kind of stuff. So I, as a cosplayer, I tend to really focus on what can I do to quote like Rye and everything. What can Mari do to make this more extra than it needs to be? Because I personally just like, okay, so I kind of came from the era of like Love Live cosplayers. Like, I feel like that's the best way to explain it, is I was a Love Live cosplayer, I was a Borderlands cosplayer, I was a Homestuck cosplayer, and I was a Ruby cosplayer. They are a lot of the main cosplays that I have done. So, like, I have done cell shading cosplays where it's hand-painted the entire fabric to be Borderlands looking. I have done enough rhinestones to cover my person a million times over. Oh, mic slur? Let me turn that up. I've done... Well, Homestuck was what kind of put me through into the cosplay scene. Like, I attended a couple of, like, meetups for the, like, Homestuckers in this, like, place. And then was the one of the Homestuck shopping. Oh my god, how did you know? Oh my god. That was so true. That was me, guys. I was the Shopee Ball cosplayer. But yeah, so that's kind of like where I am in terms of background, and what I have done as a cosplayer. Because yeah, I've been that cosplayer who like cries at 3 a.m. as she's hand painting an entire costume, being like, oh my god, what are my life choices? Why am I doing this? And like, sometimes we're a little bit silly for that. If you guys, I don't know where I'm going with this one, but yeah, that's a little bit about like my experiences. I also have a lot of friends who focus more on foam smithing and props, so that's not my kind of like, that's not my specialty. But I have some limited knowledge in it, and I'm a little bit stubborn, so I tend to like try and think that I can do things. I've done some very intricate props. I can't show you these without doxing myself though. So you don't get to see my work because I'm not doxing myself on stream today. Isn't that funny? Anyway, let's see if I remember to set this up properly. Yeah! Yeah! I forgot to delete that. We've got a little kitty. So basically, I've organized the tiers for today as we've got here very perfect for entry-level cosplayers, so stuff that is not going to be very resource heavy, things that are like very good entry level for cosplayers who are just wanting to kind of experiment with cosplay, that aren't going to be like breaking their fucking like banks to put the pieces together. Lots of really easy to thrift stuff as well. That's a very good way to have a good entry level cosplay, just to get a feel of the like the idea of the field. Very wonderful. It's still like pretty like entry level, but it's like that one step higher where you're starting to experiment with things, starting to like self-dye stuff, like kind of getting into that kind of like area is how I would kind of see that, because it is a very wonderful period of time when you're cosplaying where you're starting to learn how to sew, where you're starting to experiment things and see how it goes, and you're finding your feet as a cosplayer. So that's what that one means. Very perfect, has challenging aspects. Pretty design. Challenging aspects would be utilizing things such... I touched the button. Like, challenging aspects will be utilizing things such as, like, foam smithing, major prop work, tails, ears, all of that kind of stuff. Stuff where you're really going to have to do your research and figure stuff out that way. Thankfully, cosplay nowadays, there's so many resources compared to where I started, so, like, even then, it's a lot easier nowadays, because back then it was very gatekeepy. Boy, it was a gatekeepy. So like, again, that's why I'm like, yeah, things for me may be different for you guys. And then would question every life choice. I'll do it. I'll cry about it, but I'll do it. And that's where would question every life choice would be. That's a very like very complex costume, requiring a lot of detailing, a lot of like sewing knowledge, lots of prop knowledge, probably a lot of paint knowledge as well. And then cool, complex design, I would be scared to make this. This is where I would put the cosplays, where I would, if you handed it to me, cry. And go, I could make this. I'm gonna cry if I do. And again, this is gonna be different for everyone. What is complex to me is probably not as complex to other people. We all have our different, like, you know, strengths and things. For example, one of my best examples I could give for what this here would be is, and I'm gonna say a hololive person for, like, the first time ever on stream, is Iris. I love Iris's design. Absolutely incredible design. Absolutely gorgeous. If you asked me to make Iris, I would cry. I would literally say no. In saying that though, I have done a, like, breakdown of her before. So, like, stuff like this, where it is very complex. You need to have a lot of knowledge and you need to know exactly how to make things work. There's a lot of stuff like this, where you'd be utilizing, like, you'd probably want these to glow, so how are you going to make them light up? All of the different hair pieces that you can see here, where these are hanging down, what kind of wires are you going to use? They're on both sides, there's horns there, there's pieces all through there, as well as there. Like, the earrings, see how it's, like, very complex and heavy? Stuff like this is kind of out of my field. Also, bows in the hair, God bless, I fucking love bows. Oh my god, I love bows. A lot of this you would have to utilize a lot more stuff as well, so things like screen printing. I looked at doing this from the angle of hand painting the entire thing. So when I was doing my, like, breakdown of it, I was looking at how can I do this without access to screen printing or custom printing, because I don't tend to personally like utilizing that stuff. I like to hand paint. And then also, would I use vinyl in certain places? Like this one here would look gorgeous as a cut, like a vinyl, versus like this. This would be agonizing as a vinyl. And painting this would suck. It would be very easy to make a mistake, because it is a very specific design. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. I would one day want to do it. One day. But, like, this is a kind of example of what I would put in that section, where I'm just like, I would not be able to do that, but it's incredible, it's gorgeous, it's perfect, because, like, this is a stunning design. Like, this is beautiful. Even the wings, like, that is gorgeous. That level of detail is incredible in design, but when it comes to translating it to costuming, it's very scary. Because, again, floating wings, floating, like, there's a lot of technique and knowledge. There's so much thought put into it. Exactly! And it's incredible. Like, I could gush about this design for ages. That's why I had this, like, ready to go. Like, this design of Iris's is my favorite. It is my favorite of all of them. It is also probably the most complex. It's gorgeous. Anyway, so, that's probably how we're gonna go through things today. You're gonna hear me talk about things like that and kind of break it down how I did just then. So we're gonna do that for a few of them, and then I'm gonna put them in the funny little tier list, and then we're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna continue. I will probably not get through everyone, so don't feel sad if you do not get looked at today. I saved everyone that put their things in, and I'm just going by vibes, you know? I also can't... Where did it save? Hello? Where is my folder? Hello? Oh, I'm in the wrong one. No wonder why I can't find it. It's very smart today. God bless. We're having a day. But yeah. I think that's going to be how we mostly do things today. We're going to just kind of have fun, relax. We'll talk about a few things, and we'll see what happens from there. If I say anything, again, don't hold it against me. I'm just this little guy. And let's start with... Okay, we'll start with Hazia. So already, I have so many things I want to say about this costume. Oh my god. Okay, this outfit fucks. I'm so sorry I'm saying that, starting it by saying it fucks. Okay, let me put in their name so that you guys know. I'm putting in their... Oh. Can I spell today? I cannot. I cannot spell today. I love that. Okay. So, she's stunning. Her design is incredible. So already, I am really loving the fact that, like... Okay. Look at these. Ready, 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 ready. Firstly, painting, I would recommend. So this is really good. This is a really good trick that you're going to learn as, like, cosplay. See these neck pieces here? This... when it is a character that is a, like, bright color, oh my god. I don't think you understand how incredible that is. Because, and this is a really good trick, you can have, like, a bodysuit that comes up to here. So your bodysuit will come up to here, and you can have that essentially be the cover for it. You're hiding the bodysuit seam under that, which is so good. The only struggle you're gonna have is matching whatever you get for your bodysuit to the rest of, like, your features. You can also, from there, and this is why I really like how this design works, because you can break down the bodysuit. You can then go from about here on the bodysuit, and then the rest can be stockings. Now, the reason why a lot of cosplayers use, like, stockings or tights, depending on how you refer to them, you can basically hide your seams through there, have your stockings on underneath, and that will allow you a lot more, like, flexibility with, like, your fingers without having, like, the very visible seams. And a lot of, like, stockings dyeing, tights dyeing, however you want to say it, is used in there. You would use, see how she's got nails? You would glue them onto the tights so that you can, like, have those nails be kept. And it also means that you can use your phone. You're not sacrificing the use of your phone from a bodysuit. So, like, you'll see that it's cut so beautifully like that. Because the rest of this, like, all of this can literally be the, like, the bodysuit, right? And you can get morph suits and, like, custom colors. They're easy to get. That is beautiful. Now, The only thing that you're gonna have a trouble with is the zipper. Because you've got an open back here, you're gonna see that zip. So you do need to work around that when you're doing it. There are ones that have an invisible zip. You would want to recommend, like, they use an invisible zip when they make this costume. Try and minimize what you see in terms of stuff like that, or you can get it edited out, or you can just embrace it, honestly, because, like, why not? Just embrace it. It's incredible. Yes. So we've got that nice little corset top here. And I really like these because you can either get that screen printed, you can get that done with vinyl, or you can just paint it. Say fuck it, we ball. Paint it, honestly. I like to always say, if you want to have, like, a good challenge, paint your fabrics. You get a good understanding of what works and what doesn't work. Not all fabrics can be painted on, but it's good to see. You know? Fuck it, we ball paints everything. That is literally me. If I have a chance to paint something, I am, like, the #1 ambassador for telling you to just paint things. Now, with the belts, you can just buy belts. If you want a challenge, you can then take it the next step and use foam. And you can make foam belts. You can just get any kind of, like, standard, like, craft foam. I like to use this, like, there's a lot of really good foams that you can use. From there, make it like a normal belt. You can buy these buckles. You can work on it like that. Life is either, is this made of cake or is this hand-painted fabrics? Exactly. Exactly. I never thought of using foam for a belt. I use it a lot because it lets you really control the color, the texture, and how it's going to sit on your body. Because you are making it custom for your person, and it is very nice to be able to work with it that way. Again, also good for the textures, because if you want a very specific texture, you can see with how this looks, there's no leather grain kind of look to it. It looks like it has a shine. It looks pretty. It looks like a solid color. It doesn't have, like, that gritty texture of a leather belt. That's probably an artistic choice by the artist, but for me, I would take that as a really good way to use the foam, because you can heat seal the foam to really clear out a lot of the, like, texturing on it, which heat sealing, for you guys that might not be aware, is you just get that, like, heat gun, you slam it on that piece of foam, and it closes up all the gaps, and it's really good and stops, like, a lot of, like, the, like, really weird texture coming out on some foams. It helps clear out the holes like that. At least with the the foam that I use, it tends to be like that. But you can get that really nice shine to it. Bam, heat sealed. Exactly. Because, yeah, with a lot of leather, like, with a lot of belts in general, you're gonna not quite get that really pretty shine. They're gonna be a lot more matte. So you can mess with the fabrics there. And you can just throw a bit of paint on it. Or you can use vinyl if you're feeling funky. But that is a really good way to be able to do it. I would personally do it that way. If you did want to go the next step up in terms of making everything yourself, a lot of cosplayers will just buy leather and make it themselves. When you go into comps, a lot of the time, the bigger the competition, the more you're going to find people do that. I know someone who does all of their leather belts by themselves. Like, bought a whole heap of leather, taught themselves leather work, and said, yeah, I'm going to do this. Just like that. And they did. They did incredible things. Like, the stuff that they have achieved is holy wow. Leatherworking is actually super interesting as well in itself. Like, it is! I was watching them work and I'm like, oh my god. And, like, the really good thing with leather is that it is pretty good to work with. I have a Cricut, and my housemate needed to cut a whole heap of leather for a costume. And so we just put it through the Cricut, and it cut really cleanly. And putting it all together was so nice and simple for them. We have a lot, like, me being like, oh yeah, this, like, $300 machine. But, like, you can cut it by hand easily. So that's how you read Cricut. It's Cricut! I think some people say Cricut, but I like Cricut. It's cute. It's a funky little name, you know? But yeah. Cricut sounds weird. He's gonna cry. thought it was a power tool. I mean, it can be a power tool if you try hard enough. It requires power, and it will absolutely slice through you if you're not careful. Yes. So, that's my big thing with the belts. If you love yourself, don't make the chain. I've had to make... Can it slice cake? It'd have to be very thin cake. But, I mean, it's mean enough that it probably would. It's very mean to me. But yeah, I've had to make, my own chain at one point for a costume for somebody else. For, like, a prop. I hated it. They actually, this is the best part. If you do want it to be foam, and you don't want it to be metal, you can now buy it pre-done. Because I saw it recently. There is a store in Australia called Lumen's Workshop, and they sell foam link chain. Okay, wait, let me show you. Because this was incredible for me. This is like game-changing in so many different ways. I'm gonna plug Lumen's Workshop so fucking hard because they're my favorite. They're not in my state, so it's not like you guys can find out about me through it. I order it in. But essentially, they have this really, really amazing, like, stuff now under, like, their, like... Let me get it for you. Like, this is why I'm like, yeah, it's so different now for, like, the world of cosplay. There is so much more that exists compared to what used to. So, like, look at this. Where did it go? Insane. And, like, you can just make the chains. You can apply them this way. Like, they're all their own separate pieces in there. And then... Watch this. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Bam. Is that not the most insane thing you've ever seen? Like, because that was game-changing for us. Like, they just do that now. And you can just buy them. Paint them however you need them to. Like, if you have an airbrush, beautiful for this kind of detail work. Seal them. Like, prime them, obviously. Make sure that you're not bleeding your paints. Prime them. Chuck that, like... Boomerang, back in my day, we used, like, yoga mats for a lot of our stuff. We used yoga mats and the cheap craft foam that you get in tiny little packs, and we made do. There are so many amazing resources nowadays. It's incredible, and they keep, like, getting bigger and bigger, and it's amazing. Yoga mats, yeah. We used to use yoga mats. Color up a yoga mat. Or, like, you know how there's, like, those, like, mats where they're, like, squares and you kind of lock them in? And they use them on, like, gym floors and all that? You'd also use those and cut them up. And you would do it so that the textured side is on the inside, so that you had the soft side on the outside. Nowadays, you can just buy the foam. They also now have adhesive foam? The fucking puzzle mats. Yeah! Yeah, literally. But, like, they didn't obviously have the puzzles. They were just, like, the interlocking ones. But, yeah. So you would use stuff like that. And you'd get it from, like, your local Bunnings. And you'd be like, hey, what's up, you guys? And now we have dedicated cosplay stores that sell this kind of stuff. And it's amazing! But, yeah, if you wanted to, like, do, like, the chains. And you didn't want to buy chains because you have that, like, clash between, like, the fabrics and everything, because sometimes, depending on how your chains look, they can look a little bit jarring compared to the rest, which is why stuff like this now exists. You can have that nice, clean look utilizing these. Airbrush, you can hand paint. Would you ever get into 3D printing for stuff like this? We have 2 3D printers in this house. So in this household, there are 2 3D printers. I have had quite a few pieces 3D printed in my cosplays. We have a resin printer and just like your standard. So we got resin and, yeah, standard filament. The filament one's kind of not really getting used. We mostly use the resin one because the resin one's super, super useful. I don't tend to use it as much. The housemates tend to use it more. I kind of just be like, hey, can I get this printed? And then they're like, yeah, okay, cool, thank you. But yeah, so... want a 3D printer eventually. They are so good. The smell of the equipment that you have to use around it is very jarring, but it is so good. I made earrings for a cosplay where one of my friends is a 3D modeler, and so like I asked them, I tried to commission them, and they're like, yeah, and then they wouldn't let me pay, and I was like, how dare you? But they basically 3D modeled some earrings for a Hololive cosplay of the Blue Idol variety of one of her outfits, because she has very specific like portrait earrings. So they 3D modeled that, and then we 3D printed them. I put that together then, and then painted it from there. So that was a really good thing, because that kind of stuff would be painful to make otherwise by yourself, but you could still do it by yourself. You just have to be very, very careful with the foam that you use, and like you'd use foam clay in that instance. You wouldn't use like a lot of other things. And still, it would be a little bit heavier. So like the 3D printing was chef's kiss in that moment. Saved my damn life. But yeah. Also, remember, if you're ever using foam work, you need to seal it at the end, because you're going to get paint everywhere otherwise, and your paint's going to look terrible. Always seal your paints. Thank you. But yeah. Inhaling that damn toxic fumes like ox. I got in trouble once because I was using a very specific glue. Well, contact adhesive. And I was just working away. And one of my friends was like, are you in a closed room? And I was like, yes. And they were like, and did you read the warnings? And I was like, no. And then that's how I found out that you had to have a like mask and everything for it. And so now I'm a lot more careful. But in that one time, we had a slip up. And that's why you always read your instructions whenever you work on costumes and you ever use any of the equipment. This was years ago, so you can't tell me off. I'm already better. Hee hee. But yeah.
Gay people can't read.
So true, Kindling. Gay people cannot read. But now I've learned how to. One thing I really like about this piece, I'm like dotting up and down because this is just kind of how my brain works, and I'm so sorry in advance because you're basically seeing me break this down in real time. So I'm gonna jump back and forth. Beading, incredible, beautiful, stunning. Oh, chef's kiss. I love stuff like this because it is a nice little sit down and put together. There's no big differences in here, so you're gonna find it a lot easier putting this together because there's no, see how they're all just the same? There are pieces where I've had to go like 4 different things, and you have to be careful and make sure it looks good and translates well. So that's beautiful. That is a nice, clean design there. You've got your bigger one here. You've got this part dangling here. You can 3D print that if you have access to it, since we've discussed 3D printing now. Otherwise, you can make that out of foam. That's easy to make out of foam because that is a very specific design. You're not going to really find that. If you have access to stuff that does let you get that exact design that's not foam, that is more detailed, use that as well. But for me, I'm thinking foam for that. And you can also, if you really want that shine, either hand paint it or you can get vinyl. Vinyl exists. Vinyl is absolutely brilliant. You just slam that thing on there, you're good. You're laughing. But yeah. Anyway. We're moving back up here again because let's talk about these horns. So these are going to be fun. Because they're on your head. Cardboard and metallic gold paint. Exactly. That you could do that. I would recommend foam because foam has a cleaner finish than cardboard, but you can use cardboard. This is going to be your fun part though, because this stuff is going into like special effects kind of stuff. Like you're going special effects makeup here. Is there a way to help foam be a little more durable in case it's in a high motion areas? Pick a god and pray. Your thickness of your foam will help you. Otherwise, pick a god and pray. But unfortunately, like, sometimes you're gonna pick a god and hope and pray that it's gonna work out. With these horns here, you're gonna have to stick these to your head, which means you have to use the correct stuff. Do not use real glue. Do not use contact adhesive. Do not use eyelash glue. I know someone who tried to use eyelash glue. Do not do that. It will not hold. There is an actual, like, thing that you can use for this. I'm blanking on the name of it. I've used similar before, and I'm blanking on the name of it. It's not that. It is... Okay, I'm blanking on the name of it. There is something that you can actually specifically buy that will adhere this stuff to your face, which you can then get a remover for, which will remove it. You're gonna utilize that for me. Making these horns as well, like body safe glue, there's a specific type that is used in special effects makeup. I've had to use it so many times. I've had to use it so many times that it's gonna kill me. I'm gonna remember it halfway through this stream, and then you're gonna hear me randomly yell it out, and then that's it. But the horns are nice and clean in their design. Like, I can sit there, sketch them out. Right? Again, if you have access to a 3D printer, you're laughing. If you're like everyone else and you have to make them, there are a lot of different ways that you can make horns. Now, there are multiple ways because Homestucks exist. You can go with the base of alfoil, so you can alfoil the base here, and then you can build up in like foam. A lot of people would use foam clay, or you can actually use foam cut out like that. So that is a very popular Homestuck way. So you've got that nice like airless kind of base with the alfoil, and then you're building it there. You can also do this one specific thing where it would be a completely hollow base through the foam, and you would go through, you would design how you want it to look, you would find specific cuts in it, and then you would basically build it that way and build it piece by piece. You also have, there is this one really cool way for cosplayers, and I've done this when I made Houndoom horns, but you can get that really nice texture of it getting smaller and smaller by slowly making them smaller and smaller and piece through, so that you keep going through like that until it comes to the end, and you get that really nice constant texture of like this, because that's all segmented, instead of having to manually paint that yourself. Once made horns using tissue rolls and then connecting them together. Yeah, similar to that. I used like strips of foam, so you would have them slightly smaller every time and then build them up that way. And it was really nice, really easy to use, and it really held the texture nicely. I did like how they looked. They were very funny for that. It gets a little annoying towards the tip, but like, it works. I had no issues with that. I recommend that method. I have done all three. Yu-Gi-Oh! Gone. Oh god. Yeah, understandable. Understandable on that one. But yeah, I've tried all three methods. When I did a lot of my Homestuck design, like cosplays, I did use this. So when we were silly and we comped in Homestuck, I did the alfoil to the foam wraparound, just because it gave me the specific texture that I needed, and because I needed to sit there and I put manual cuts and like gaps in there to show like aging and like wear on it. So that was kind of like why I ended up having to use that one, just because the other ways would kind of damage the integrity of the horn itself. So yeah. Ears are easy, just get any elf ears, paint them to the color you need them to be, and then seal them so that they don't go everywhere. The vials, easy. Just buy the vials, put the stuff that you need to put in there, seal them properly, unless you want them to be able to come in, like, take it out, like, pour it everywhere. Glue them down if you don't need to. Always, always make sure these can't burst open. Unless you need them to, do not let them burst open, because you will get a mess everywhere. Stuff like this can be painted directly onto the bodysuit. Bows, 10 out of 10. Like, just grade 10 out of 10 for just the bows alone. Bows are perfect on cosplays everywhere. Another bow, 10 out of 10. Yeah. I think I spent a lot longer on this one than we thought I would. Oopsies. I'm very, I love this costume. Like, I love this design. I love this. Look at this. I will say, this is very funky. I love it. I love this. That's incredible. God, you know what I mean? And like painting that wouldn't be too difficult. Vinyl exists. It's like, yeah, easy, easy, easy. And there you go. There's the vials there. A nice breakdown of how they would look. And it looks like they are liquid. So yeah, seal your vials. You can make a really nice look with this by using not water, but like, I'm gonna listen in the background while I rest. Thank you, Mama. Rest well. If you want it to have a really nice glittery effect, I like putting like, you know that glitter that people use in their drinks to make that galaxy look? Utilize that. It looks really, really pretty. But yeah, seal them. Glue on your nails. You can do that by just literally putting it on and then pressing down the nails and gluing them like normal. All of these, like you just put onto the bodysuit. And then yeah. What would I rate this in terms of how much would it make me cry? Now, my bestie's a little silly with those shoes. They were cooking. Oh, look at that. She did not think about the sizes. Whoa, yippee! Because of the horns and because of a lot of the details, I am going to put it in very perfect, has challenging aspects. Because there are some very challenging aspects that would be very difficult for new creators. And gives a nice general, like, you know, nice challenge for us. I like that. I love this design. It has no, like, nothing in there that makes me go, why? And I love that. It's so nice. It's a gorgeous fit. Like, everything about that design is just beautiful. It's eye-catching. The colors are so pretty together. There is that difference in the blues as well, that slight difference between them. Beautiful, stunning, incredible, work of art. I am chef's kissing this design. And also very good breakdowns in here. And that's what I love to see in design. It looks like a cosplayer designed it. Because there is hacks for every single part of this design. And so yeah. That's our first one. And now you can see why I said we're probably not getting through everyone today. I'm so sorry. I rambled so hard on that one. Let's see. Who are we doing next? Minyate. So, okay. Controversial. And don't blame me. But, oh wait, first we need to... Wait. Okay. So, the biggest thing with this is I would take it a very different direction than what you guys are thinking. Because you guys are probably thinking I would put this on my person. There is a certain type of, like, cosplay where people dress up in theater blacks or dress up as, like, a supporting character or, like, something that kind of blends into the character's aesthetic, and then they build as a separate piece, like a puppet. And I think, because Minyate is tiny... Hi, Possum! Welcome! I think Minyate would be perfect as one of those. Now, for those of you, like, the best example I can give of, like, that kind of, like, aesthetic, let me show you. If anyone is a Critical Role fan, there is a character called Fresh Cut Grass. And, like, this cosplayer here, for example, you can see they've made Fresh Cut Grass instead of becoming Fresh Cut Grass, and then they've dressed up to look very similar. Like, this is just basically Jijinka kind of, like, aesthetic. I think this would be the best way to do Minyate. Because you would have that ability to just... I'm gonna close this, actually, while we are here. You would have the ability to really just get that kind of, like, shape without a lot of manual messing around. Because, like, it's, like, they're just so scrunky. And, like, you don't want to lose that really nice shape. So you would utilize essentially how you would make like a fursuit and a puppet, and you would slam it together. And then, like, it's just... I don't mean to be controversial here. Like, I will give you a slight breakdown of how I would put it on my actual person. But personally, I think this design would flourish IRL as that kind of concept. Because you can have the sticks and you can walk them. You can have them move. You can have, like, the moving jaw through the back. On how you would put it on Cinder. Make the little hat stick it on the head. But yeah, puppet style for Minyate would be the best, because it's really going to bring out the best aspects of this character design that are just so scrunky, and you would lose a lot of it putting it on a person. Took a little sippy sip there, sorry. But yeah, you've got really nice, like, furs that you can use here. Personally, going towards, like, how I would do it. What if you put it on a very short person? I mean, yeah, you could absolutely do that. You could put it on a tiny little person. Oh my god. Not... Oh my lord. But yeah, the hat, you can make that out of... You're not gonna believe what I'm gonna say, guys. You can make the hat out of foam. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be the #1 shill for foam today. Everything can be made out of foam if you try hard enough. Oh wow, foam, exactly. There are actually some really good patterns that exist out there that you can buy and put together that are for witch hats. Kamui Cosplay is the first person who comes to mind for them. She makes a lot of that kind of stuff. Oh my god. But yeah, Kamui Cosplay has that kind of pattern. I know for a fact, because my housemate used a witch hat pattern from them that has this kind of, like, drop in here. So easily done there. That's covered for you. You're not having to hand, like, pattern that out. You have that nice resource that you can utilize. I'm also extra. I want these to sparkle. I'm just saying. I think that they should sparkle. If they don't, I will make them sparkle. Just because my Love Liver self is coming out in this, and I think it deserves, like, the sparkles as a trait. Same with these ones. I want them to shine, because it'll really draw out that part of the outfit. The actual design itself is very welcoming to, like, new, like, cosplayers and everything. When you're really looking at it, this is probably going to be your most complex part, and there's multiple different ways you can do that. You can literally sit there and paint that. Like I said, I'm always going to recommend hand painting for stuff, but if you're feeling funky, you can just stitch that in. That's me. That's the problem. That is literally me. I don't know how to explain this, but that is me. I am the shiny. Like, that is me. I look at a costume and I'm like, but I can make this glitter. I can make this shine. And then people have to tell me, absolutely not. You're not doing that. You've already done Mari's Mari Crazy. I know. Oh my god. And I'm blonde too now. No. Oh no. This was a mistake. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Guess her Love Live Urshi in 10 seconds. Actually, yeah. Everyone, guess her my Love Live Urshi is. That's funny. You're now president owner of a dying school. Oh no. Maki. Oh my god. So yeah, Dai is my Urshi from Love Live, and also Maki. Oh, hello, Camille! Hi, welcome! How are you today? I hope you are doing well. Hello! Oh my goodness, hi! But yeah, hi! We're currently discussing cosplay stuff because, I do a lot of cosplay, So we're currently talking about a whole heap of streamers who submitted their designs and just talking about how we would do them, recommending different things, and just having like a little funny thing. We also have a tier list of like how I would rate the level of pain that people's cosplay designs would cause. So we're having a little bit of a time. But yeah, we're having a time. But yeah, basically, I would say this is a really good entry level one because it does give you that forgiving. Yeah! The tail, so there is this really cool thing that you can do with tails that utilize foam. So this is like a different kind of foam to the foams that I was talking about. I was talking about EVA. This is mattress foam. So what you can do is you can build the base in the foam, right? So we got this right here. You would then attach it to a board, and then you would attach it to a belt that sits here. Now what you can do with the foam, and this is a really fun trick. So a lot of people will tell you that you need to do the pool noodle trick. Ignore them. They're wrong. Don't listen to them. You can do this easier. What you can do is you can get like a bread knife, like an electronic bread knife or something like that. I literally own one just because I had to make a tail for a cosplay once and I needed the bread knife. You can put very strategic cuts in this tail, right? And you do it on both sides. Of course I would recognize you. But yeah, what you can do is you can use strategic cuts on the both sides. And what this does is it means that gravity is going to work on you. Like you've got your motion, so you've got the cuts here, right? And when you take that move to say this side, it's going to slowly close in here and bring the tail that way. And then if you move that way, it's going to bring the tail that way by how deep the cuts are into the foam. So you've got that natural movement. And I know this works. I've done it. I've done it before. I had a giant costume, like tail, that took up like, if I was using this, like this much, it took a lot. And it was those cuts, and then you're going to put the fabric over the top of it. You're going to leave a little bit of space, and you're going to pad the sides of it with like plushy stuffing. But those cuts are going to save you so much struggle because you are going to get rid of the need for wire. You're going to need to get rid of the segmenting through the foam. It is cheaper. How durable is it in the long run since there's cuts going through it? It is very durable. Now, the reason why it is very, very durable is because if you're going like here, you're not going to want to be in like these areas. I changed the color of my thing. Silly haha. So you're not going to want to put it in like these areas where it's like very close to the middle. You're going to keep it in here. And since these are thick like tails, you're going to be working with enough of it that it's not going to really rip through it. It also has the fabric holding it for stability. This is a very popular technique for a lot of fursuiters specifically. So like fursuiters do this with tails. And that's how they get those really nice tail wags. It's worth it. This is like fursuiting techniques that I have like picked up and learnt, and now I'm teaching you guys. I had to research this because I needed to know, so I had to like spend hours watching different fursuiting tail techniques, and this one was the one that gave me the best personal results and the one that I now swear by. So it's great. It's perfect. And that fur is really going to look nice on top of that because you're going to have the shape already. So you've got that nice, so like here, you would have this tail connected through like that. You've got all the cuts through, you've got all that fur applied. You can then go through and cut and shave as much as you need to get that exact texture that you want. Dyeing the fur is going to be the painful part, but if you have an airbrush, you're laughing. Anything else, I am so sorry. That's where your complexity is going to come in. You can try and section out the sewing like different furs, but you're going to have to be careful about how you sew and cut your fabric because you can mess with the integrity of the fur. But that is also an option. So if you don't want to do the dyeing, you don't want to airbrush, and you just want to sew the stripes, you can do that. And nothing is stopping you from doing that. Just personally for me, airbrushing is incredible. It saves so much struggles. It is wonderful, and you can get really nice effects out of it. Especially when you're bleeding out like that from the darker to the lighter color. It's beautiful. I love that owning an airbrush seemingly solves a lot of things. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. getting access to an airbrush kind of changed my life in so many ways. Especially with like fur and ears, because again, ears are super easy to make. The best tip that I'm going to teach you for ears is that you're going to cut out the base in foam. You're then going to outline it in wire, right? You have your wire bits that connect to the headband. And then basically what you're going to do is after you've installed that wire, and you're going to use hot glue for this. That sounds controversial. And I know it sounds controversial because a lot of people will be like, why are you using hot glue? Just use it. Don't use it on fabrics for like dresses, but stuff like this, your expensive ear makers are using hot glue. So this design is super cute. Yeah! This is Minyate. They're really, really cute. They're a really lovely streamer friend of mine. I absolutely recommend them 110%. They're so scrunky. But yeah, hot glue is your friend. Just don't do it on dresses and proper like what like you would not put hot glue on any of this. You would put hot glue on this, and you would put hot glue on this. If you put hot glue for your seams, I will kind of tell you off for that. Thank you for the hydrate. Let me take a sip. I will kind of tell you off for that. But that's because I got told off for doing that a lot. So that's like coming down to this is a personal opinion, this is how I was taught, this is how I was like made to do things, this is what I recommend kind of like area. There are some people that just glue their seams. They just do that. The idea of that scares me because if you are in a very hot climate and you are using hot glue gun on like stuff on your body. Hot glue my toe so hot once I had to regret. Oh no. See, I had an instance where I had fresh hot glue drop onto my leg. So I understand. I understand. It fell straight from the gun directly onto my person. Oh boy, that was funny. I will tell you guys now, if you ever decide to get into cosplay, there is a joke in a lot of cosplay circles, which is your first blood for your cosplay. And that your first blood for your cosplay means that you're going to have a good costume. And what that is it is honestly us coping for the fact that you're going to hurt yourself. No matter how small it is, you're going to hurt yourself in some way. Every costume I have ever made, minus one, I have had my first, my blood sacrifice. From things such as, oh, I was messing around with, the pins, getting them into the right place, slipped, and they just got into my person. I had a friend who stepped on a needle, a sewing needle, and had to have it surgically removed while they were working on costumes. There is a lot of ways you're gonna hurt yourself when you're making cosplay because it's just like that. It's just a thing. People who say they don't do anything, they don't hurt themselves ever, are gods. I don't believe them. They had to have accidentally pricked themselves with a needle at one point when they're working on a costume. I refuse to, nah. You touch your hot glue accidentally. You're like the rest of us. Come on, I believe in you. But yeah, there's been so many times where I've accidentally, done something, and I'm like, oh, well, that was stupid. But here we go, sacrifice to the cosplay gods. And it's coping, it's just us being silly and messing around. So that's what you're probably going to see from a lot of cosplayers, because I picked that up from a lot of cosplayers. Anything arts and crafts related, you will be injured unwillingly. Exactly. And you know what another thing a lot of cosplayers will do, and it is a rite of passage? You're gonna drink your paint. You're gonna drink your paint water. It's inevitable. You will never escape it. I have done it so many times that I don't even flinch anymore when it happens. There are times because I do obviously a lot of very big builds with a lot of paint. Some very big hand painting builds. Because of that, there are times where it was getting close to the deadline. And this was a bad habit that I've had to get out of. Sometimes you need to quickly wet your brush again, but you don't want to lose out on your paint. You're going to just put it on your tongue. Go back to it. You need that that shape of the brush. Yep. On the tongue. Back to work again. I have consumed way too much paint. But it's okay. My paint is non-toxic. I shouldn't do it. You should never do it. I don't recommend it. But sometimes it's just what you need to do, It's that nice, quick easiness without having to fully clean your brush again and then go back at it. Bad habit though, I don't recommend it. But anyway, ears. So with the ears, you've got that foam piece, you've got the wire, you're gonna put it to the thing, and then what you're gonna do is with your hot glue, you're gonna get your back and your front of your fur, and you're gonna press it together and glue it there. It's okay that I eat my paint. Exactly! It is okay that I eat my paint. Just make sure that you guys don't eat your paint. And then that's gonna give you your first base. From there, after you've got that, you've got obviously two very furry sides. You're gonna get your what are they called? The shaving things, the razor things. You know what I mean? The you turn them on, you buzz them, and then you shave. So you're gonna grab that, your electric razor, and then what you're gonna do is shave the inside to get that nice, you know how on the inside of the ears it's not as fluffy as the outside, if at all. You're gonna get that nice look of it down to like the final grain. Well, then going from the back, you're gonna have it fluffier up here to slowly get it closer to that at the front. Well, not the front, the top. So you've got that nice texture coming in until it meets at the top there. Now, if your character has the tufts, then you would obviously keep the tufts there. Looking at this design though, in this discussion, there is no tufts. So, we're not doing that. We're gonna say no. It's a nice rounded ear tip. Like that. Right? Look at that. Beautiful. So after you've done that, you've shaved all the insides, you've got all that nice look there. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get your airbrush, again, if you have an airbrush, otherwise you're gonna water down your paint. And you're gonna paint the inside so that it's got that dimension to it. Again, see the duality of the colors here? You need to keep that in mind. You need to keep that in mind. Stuff like this, you're not going to want to have the two different colors, like, sewn in, because you're going to have a seam line. You won't have it so much on the outside, but on the inside, you're going to see that seam. So this is where, like, the dyeing and the painting really comes in clutch. With this being like that, you'd want it very watered down, and you'd want it really dried. But that is how I would do it. So yeah. I think that is a good explanation. Obviously, with the puppet, you would then do the face like normal. You'd be able to really easily keep the, like, face, like, design, the little scrunkiness to it. If you were to put it on your person, then you would have to, like, figure out how you want this part to sit on your face. You would have to then face paint it onto your person. So you would kind of have to adjust for, like, how it would work on your face in particular, which is a lot of manual trial and error. But you can make that happen. I still think, personally, this design would be best doing the method that I mentioned at the start, which is the puppet and the theater blacks, or the design matching. So yeah, that is Minyate. And I was behaved through this one. Now, I didn't spend 40 minutes. Wait, as a puppet, that's... Yes, so literally, I said kind of like how they make fresh cut grass. Exactly like how fresh cut grass is done in the cosplay community. That is going to be the best way to do the little scrunky. That is going to make sure that you keep that scrunky design, keep that size of the character, while best utilizing how their body is shaped. So like all of the shapes that you can have through here, how the tail and the paws look, it would translate so beautifully into puppet. Perfectly eatable. Exactly! You may eat them as a treat. Okay, in terms of where I would rate them, now because you'll be utilizing a lot of new things, I love that I did not think about the size of this thing before I grabbed everyone's designs. Yippee! Honestly, I wouldn't say I would question life choices. So, like, again, Very Perfect has challenging aspects. You will be challenged because you are making a functioning puppet. And there is a lot of stuff that goes into those puppets that y'all would not believe. So I think putting them there is the best way. Also, this is not going to be ranked in, like, here. It's just in order of how I've been doing it. Because I'm not going to, like, move everyone around. I'm happy with them just chilling. So, yeah. I think that's where I'm going to put them. Now, let's grab somebody else. Let's see. Who are we gonna grab? Oh my god, I know who I'm gonna pick. So, this is the... Okay, wait. Let me change the name. Let me change the name. I'm good. I'm good at this. Alright. So, Tear Bear, my beloved, is the perfect example of what you want to see for an entry-level cosplay. This costume is very beautiful. It is so attention-grabbing, but it is forgiving. And I love that. Some of the best costume designs are those that are so accessible. That is why this is a big thing. One of the big reasons Homestuck got so big was for its accessibility to cosplayers. That is so important. If you want to be cosplayed, if you want your media to really hold, you want to advertise to your cosplayers. Homestuck, you got a shirt, you got some pants, you made your horns, you slap on some paint. And that is why it was really cemented. Nowadays, obviously, you can buy a lot more cosplays, but that's what really held Homestuck to such a high, thing. That's why there were so many Homestuck cosplays back then. And that is so, again, that is what just... Hey, Beth, thank you so much for the follower. Welcome. How are you today? Just don't Shopee bath your body paint. Exactly. Just don't put yourself in a Shopee bath. Everything else is fine. But yeah, the, hair, this, as a wig, would be so forgiving. I personally hate wig work. I hate it with a passion. Don't enjoy it. I missed getting to give you my design, so I'm here instead to watch you look at others. Oh, welcome. I'm currently going through my third person at the moment, which is Tear Bear. So we're currently talking through, how, designs can be simplistic but still pass through a message. Can't find this weird and random. It's the greatest fandom. But yeah, so the wig is very forgiving in the way that you don't want to be, you don't want to be stressed looking at it. The color is very easy to get. You could find that anywhere. Other wigs would absolutely have that color on hand. And that's perfect. You would do only bangs and here. This would just be a normal medium length wig. You can get wigs with that already. You would just basically be cutting that to your person. Beautiful, smart. Now, the ears, I just taught you guys how to make ears. You're gonna get your foam in the pattern that you want. And this is one of the ones where, see how it kind of goes over? You can then have it go over a little bit on here. I like to keep it so that it keeps to that. But what you're going to do, you're going to get your foam, you're going to get your wire, you're going to have it so that it sits on the band, and you're going to put your fur together, exactly the same as Minyate's. And you're going to get that nice look doing that, and it's going to look clean. You can either put it, okay, I did teach you guys the headband method for that one, but... if you wanted to make it, hidden more, you can put them on individual clips. Or, and this one's the funky one, you can put magnets. So you would have magnets along here, right? And you can get very powerful magnets. And then on the inside of the wig, you can sew in little patches with the corresponding magnets. And that's going to hold those to the wig. There is no tomorrow. Those things are not coming off unless you are ripping them off. But you do need to make sure, and I say this from experience, that your magnets are put in correctly, because otherwise you're unsewing all of that and putting it all back together again. And you know what's very painful? That. So make sure they're the correct sides when you're working on them, please. Or else. But yeah, magnets are a really good way. You do want to use the really strong magnets for the best effect. There was one costume where I had to have a little mascot that sat, here on me. And the way that I did that was that in the undershirt, I sewed in a magnet. And then on the inside of the mascot, I sewed, I kind of stuck in that magnet. And that little plushie that I had on my person the entire day did not move. unless I personally ripped him off. Like, you would have to pull him off, and you could stick him anywhere. And that's the fun part. You can just stick them anywhere. And, like, even now, he's still magnetized. I can put him on any kind of surface that's magnetic, and he'll just stick. In that instance, the magnet that I used, I wouldn't recommend for these. You can just get nice round, or, like, the rectangular magnets. I used I think it was an old hard drive's magnets. And yeah, they hold very firmly. Don't put him on your phone. Exactly, don't put him on your phone. Do not put them on your phone. You don't want to put these near your phone. But yeah, the plushie that I have with the magnet, he's very, 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 very powerful. And so he is kind of put away in a shelf away from everything that could be affected. But yeah, that's going to be a very smart way to be able to get those to stick in place if you don't want the obvious headband. Magnets up for good. No! No! Contacts, easy. You're going to get that color everywhere. Absolutely beautiful color choice because that is so accessible as a color. The bow. So I have learnt a very important trick with bows that I am going to bestow upon you guys today. Thank you so much for the follow, Java14. So what you're going to do, and this is a very sneaky trick, is, and I'm gonna diagram this. You're going to get a long piece of fabric, right? And you're going to make sure it is sewn. So you're going to grab it, make sure it's folded in half, sew along the edges, keep one part slightly open, and then flip it so that the good side is out, and then the like sewn part is hidden, so you don't have your seams out. What you're gonna do then is close that, so it's a closed thing, right? So you've got that nice closed rectangle. Then what you're gonna do is you're going to grab the middle part here, and what's gonna happen is, firstly, I'm gonna register that. What's gonna happen is as you pull that in and scrunch it up here, it's going to make that shape. Right? So already, just by making that rectangle, scrunching it in here, you're then gonna, what I do is I do a couple of layers of sewing thread, and then I glue that, like I tie it off, I glue it that way. It's gonna give you that nice effect like this. And then what you're gonna do is get another strip of fabric, do the same thing, and make sure all of your seams are hidden. And then you're gonna wrap it, so then it does this. And then you have made a beautiful bow like that with no trouble. It's going to look clean. It's going to look stunning. Yeah. 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 Hehehe. And then, if you were wanting it to be even more specific, what you can then do is grab that, fold it again, and then do it. And then what that's going to do is it's going to be really, like, fluffy up here. And yeah, another thing that I do recommend is if you want, because that, how I've shown you that way, would then make it do a little bit of this naturally, right? If you then get iron-on interfacing, and you iron it before you sew it shut, it is going to be beautiful fabric that holds form perfectly. It is going to be very rigid and very firm. So a cosplay I needed to make had to have a giant bow that sat on my back that did not droop in any way. It was not allowed that natural droop. It had to be structured and firm. So I got the really, really strong iron-on interfacing and I ironed it on. And it sat. It sat exact the entire time. And even now it still is. And so that is my go-to. And then you're probably saying, but Mari, what about the like little extra bits that come down here? Sew them on. Go to the back, sew them on individually. You can stick them in here, and then they fall like that. Or, if people aren't going to see the back, just sew them. Like that. That is the best advice I'm going to give you for bow making. I got taught that as a gatekeep secret, but I'm sharing it with y'all today because we do sillies. So like in this instance, for example, with this, you can have the two pieces, sew them together, right? So you've had your two pieces done, you sew them there, you section it off, you wrap it, and then you've got that. You can then get the other two bits and sew them in so that they're sewn along this part here. So you would have all of this sewn in place, and it holds nicely. That you would have that exact hold because all of this is interfaced. It's not going to move around. From there, the little bear here, if you have a 3D printer, again, 3D model, 3D print. But if you're using non-3D printing methods, showing how accessible things can be to do things pretty and might inspire people to... Exactly, and that's why I am a very big believer on share your knowledge. Because when I started, there was one robot arm tutorial for a Full Metal Alchemist cosplay, and it got passed around as much as possible from this one website because that is the only person who would share their knowledge, and it got changed and altered many times over for the Homestucks, for the Vriska arms, for anyone that required a robot arm, and then slowly over time, that you can see the people who were inspired by that, who have made a lot more accessible designs. So there was going to be a Vriska cosplay. There are so many Vriska arm cosplay tutorials now. I am so happy because when I started, they didn't really do that. And I'm very proud of us as a community for being a lot more accessible with our tutorials. Now they're everywhere. Now you can buy them, which is insane to me. But yeah, from here, just paint your arm. So true. This is a very... I understand that people want to be unique and the only one, but imagine your legacy not being the only one, but instead being the first one to share. Exactly! No, like, that is so important. And I think that's why I really like how nowadays we are just becoming more and more accessible in that regards. Now, with these headpiece and this part here, all you would have to do is get foam clay or just regular, like, foam. Cut out the pattern. Paint it. That's it. If you want that leveled texture, so like that, you can then, like, possibly, like, as I said, foam clay. You can use, like, doll eyes. If you wanted, like, the really shiny, like, eyes there, get the doll eyes that you can get from, like, plushie making. Put a hole in the foam, because they're all, like, the doll eyes are made like this. And you would essentially make just enough of a hole to slip that in, because that also gives it a lot more stability and hold, because you're going to then glue that into that foam, and it's going to hold like that. It's not going to move. It's not going to risk falling off. If you just glue it flat like that, over time, you're going to run the risk of it, you know, wear and tear. But you've got that stuck in there, it's going to hold really well. Because you'd have to, like, pull through all of that foam first to get to it. So I recommend that. I actually did that with a button for another cosplay that I did, where I had a foam decal that needed like a red eye, and what I did was that. I started off with foam, but it needed to be like more textured and more of a specific look. So then I covered that foam in foam clay, put the hole in there, put the button in, so it was like that, and that thing has held tighter than my future. That thing is not going anywhere. That button is stuck there for the rest of its life. And honestly, good for it. I also use contact adhesive to make sure. So, like, that thing's never leaving that spot. From there, these buttons, you can get them anywhere. You can get this shirt, like a shirt in this color, rip off the old buttons, sew in those. Beautiful. Bro has more stability than I ever will. No, real, like, mood. Insane. But yeah, sew them in. Sewing in buttons is not hard. It is a very easy task. It is very good hand sewing technique as well. From there, I'm gonna talk about the little guy, the little buddy. So I think very easy to make, and the reason why I say that is because there are so many resources for like fleshy patterns that exist out there that you can use, as a base. If I typed in, like, chinchilla plushie pattern, I'm gonna find, like, 10. Easily. Go on Etsy. The plushie community, like, sells so many patterns that you can use. If you wanted it to move, I would recommend, and I've done this before, it's very cheeky, it's a chinchilla. There are these things called fur reels. Invest. Buy an old fur reel, pull it apart, basically unshell your fur reel, use those pieces as your pattern, pick all of the colors you need, make it how you want it to look. Ma'am, there's more in here. Exactly. And then recover it. And if you put it together as carefully as you took it apart, your little friend is going to move and function just like normal. And you'll have it all sorted. You can also buy, a really good thing is that you can, if you had like specific sound effects. So for example, if I had a Cinder plushie that I wanted to like have talk, Build-A-Bear has a DIY voice box where they record sound and you can press it and it makes those like sounds. Get that. And they do it in store. Customize whatever sound you want. Tuck it in there. You've got that customized voice. That is the cheapest, most cost-effective way to do that. Fur reel, there's so many different fur reels. I'm pretty sure if I type in fur reel chinchilla, there's gonna be something. Wait, really? Yeah. Yeah. Build-A-Bear has custom voice boxes. They're really good. I've used them twice. They're very good. What they do is they get you to, if you say have like a audio recording, the only downside is they don't put it in any other way than you press play on your device, and whatever quality your device is, that's the quality your voice is going to be. There's a lot of also ways that you can do it online as well. So again, gets nothing good. I have I have 2 Build-A-Bears in my state. They are holding me together by a thread. But yeah, that's gonna be your best way to make your little mascot. I'm gonna take a sip. You can't have nice things. So true. So true. But yeah, I think that's everything in regards to this piece. Like I said, her design is so sweet. It is just a genuinely nice design. And everything that I told you, the most complex you're gonna have is the mascot and the ears. And the ears are easy. It just takes practice. You're just gonna do it a couple of times before you get it finalized. Let me just... Very perfect for entry-level cosplayers, which is a huge thing, honestly. God bless. People with entry-level cosplays are the backbone of the fucking community, because complex designs sometimes get too complex that they lose their meaning. So yeah, that's Terror Bear. Thank you for the loud noise. Let's see. What are we gonna do next? Let's see. Trying to think. Maybe I should just pick at random again. Let's see. Oh, actually. This design. This. Okay. This. Oh my god. Okay. So. This is where we're going to get into some very deep discussion. Firstly, we're going to look at that wig. We're going to work our way down. So, that wig is going to be a split cut wig. Who is this? Oh, yes. Good point. Good point. Good point. Let me put their name in. Thank you for reminding me. I got way too interested. Spelling would be nice. C-A-K-A-I-R-I-U-S. Them. Hilarious. So, let's get into this. This wig, you're gonna have a fun time, firstly. So, you're gonna split it this way, and have one color, which means you're getting 2 wigs. Because don't dye this. Don't do it to yourself. You're gonna think, oh, it's gonna be easier if I just half dye it. It's not. Don't trick yourself into thinking that, for the love of God. Dyeing wigs is not as easy as people online make you say. Like, they will tell you it's the easiest thing and that you just need, like, rubbing alcohol and Sharpie. Please do not listen to them. It is so easy to mess it up. Trust me, I did. I have tried multiple times. 2 out of 3 of them, I have messed it up. Utilize your resources. Get 2 wigs. So what you're going to do is you're going to find where the split is that you want on your head, and you're going to cut those 2 wigs, and you're going to sew them in together. Just sew them together. Make sure that you sew them so that it still has a bit of, because you're going to want to make sure that you don't lose that nice give in the material. So make sure you do, like, sew them carefully so that they do sit together nicely. And then you're going to be able to shape them and style them like normal. But yeah, straight up, please, just 2 wigs it. 2 wigs it. Don't run the risk. You don't want to accidentally buy 1 wig and mess it up, because then you're going to buy another one anyway. And at that point, why did you not just get 2? Because you've just bought 2 in the end. Instead, you're now buying 3 even. But then, from there, guess what? Farm. Absolutely farm. Copies your B&B hotel offer. No. Use farm. Beautiful pieces here. These are absolutely gorgeous. The detailing you could do. You could also 3D print them. Again, 3D printing's an option. I like foam. You can use that out of EVA foam easily. Ears, anywhere you can get elf ears. There are piercings on there. Pierce your elf ears. Sometimes people that make them on request will also pierce them as well. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You see how up here, I'm already seeing that there is a space pattern there that's going to move down. And we're going to follow the body. The rest of it's covered. But we can imply and believe that at least there is covered. All the way to there. Now, this is where you would have remembered me saying that the break in the bodysuit is best hidden. You don't get that in this, because look at how high up it gets, and this is the break of your costume here. That's where your seam is. You have to bring it all the way up to the neck. What you can do is you can have all of this as the bodysuit. So have that as the bodysuit, have that as the stockings, or a bodysuit as well. This one you can get away with the fact that you can kind of just have the bodysuit all the way down. You still have one hand. You're going to bring it up to here. So we're going to bring it all the way up to here and then cut it there. And then you're going to have to paint the rest of it. Now, the issue with that is you need to make sure that you are sealing it very carefully. You are going to be in a spot where you have a lot of movement in that part there. You're going to run the risk of it rubbing. That's just how it works at the end of the day. Because you're not going to really be able to unless you got, this is a very specific thing. If you did want to fabric it all the way there, you would have to look into the adhesive, the skin safe adhesive, and glue it onto your body. And then you can remove it afterwards. So that is an option. You're going to need someone to glue the back part though. So you're going to need assistance gluing the back bit there. But you can do that. You can glue it down. Or you can paint that little part. But if you really want that nice, clean transition, you're going to be gluing fabric to your person with skin-safe adhesive. Again, skin-safe. You now have a bodysuit all the way to your neck. It comes right up to there. So that is coming up to the very top of your neck, and it's only half. So you can do that, but that means that you're wearing a full bodysuit. And it's going to be sitting right to the top of your neck. So it is up to you again. You can take that method, but you can also still just have that fabric come up to here and glue it on. And that gives you that nice equal cut there. Because you're gluing it straight to the skin. And if you have tights and you do it that way, like stockings, which have that slight transparency, you do have that nice look where it will look easier to transition between them. While still keeping all of that. But yes, the full bodysuit up to the thing is a possibility. You're just gonna have a seam. That's all it is. You're just gonna have a visible seam. And that's, sometimes you just have to live with that. Now, this is all firm. Shocker, it's all firm. All of these gold decals are firm. You can also use vinyl, but see how they've got that, like, 3D look? Your best look is going to be firm. These, I used to make things like this, where I would then... The way I'm holding my neck right now. Yeah, because with how it is, it's right to the very tip. So you would have to have a seam right to, like, where it meets with, like, your jaw, like, under of your jaw. And imagine having fabric sitting right up there all day. You're like, I personally don't like things around my neck, so that just automatically is for me. So having that half and just gluing it down is a lot easier for me mentally on the terms of what I would deal with. You can also be a little bit silly and have that like that, and then just use a DIY tattoo. Do a DIY, like, print it out on a DIY tattoo sheet. And then just apply it to your person. They will hold. I'm just saying. We sell tattoo paper. Like, you know the temporary tattoos that you apply with water? Yeah. I did it for a Borderlands cosplay that went all the way down my arm. Life is Strange cosplayers, they did it a lot too. For Chloe Price. That's an option. It's cheap, it's affordable. You're just printing it onto it and then putting it onto your skin. But yeah, all of these, firm. These, I had like these little wooden circles, which I then put the like jewel on top of it. That works. Again, there's jewels there, jewels there. Oh my god, wrong way. So like, it's a very complex piece. There's a lot of details. Got these. I like these. These are very nice to look at. You've got gloves. You got the braces on the gloves. That's foam again. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep telling you foam. I don't know what you expect. Except for this part, this is fabric. These are fabric. That's foam. That's also foam. Your braces are foam. This is funky. Gonna make it from actual metal. Okay, true. You're right. These are just cutouts into the fabric. So you can either, like, well, I say cutouts, just sew it on. Love yourself, just applique it, just sew it in. You can make them buttons from mixing resin to be extra. So when I made one of my Daya cosplays, I had the wooden base, and then I got a button mold, and I made them out of resin, where the resin was mixed with slight red color and glitter to have that really sparkly red look, so that when I put them onto it, it was this beautiful wooden like finish, and then this sparkly red like gemstone. So I've done that. God bless Daya. But yeah, just sew those on. Sew those on. Boots are boots. Good shoes. 10 out of 10. Just, those are some good shoes. They are some good shoes. Sew that in. That's foam. Make that out of foam. Love yourself. And then, the part we will... You explained it the way I theorized in my head. Am I learning? Yeah, you are. Hee hee. Congrats. We're a little silly for that one. Now, the wings. These are so good. So I recently actually saw a cosplayer who used a specific type of vinyl to get this kind of glittery effect for Ari's tails, for KDA Ari. Oh my god. Oh my god, I think it's Ari. Wait. Let me double check that I'm saying the right... Let me make sure I'm saying the right name. Yeah, Ari. Yep. I was right. I don't know why I second guessed myself on that. It's not like I'm a KDA stan. What am I? I have anxiety. But it was gorgeous. Let me see if I can. While we're talking, if I can find it. None of them had a tail except Ari. Yeah, yeah. But like, it was a very specific finish that came out so beautifully because of what they used. Now, there is Warbler that you can use. Warbler is a very trusted option that you can use for any kind of cosplay because Warbler's been around forever. It's never gonna do you wrong. It is your consistent best friend. You can dye it. You can do everything that you want. You can use a vinyl finish on top of it to get that nice like tonality that you're looking for. You can, depending on how thick they are, add. Remember, don't make you're using something like rainbow film. Yes. So that's your vinyl that you're gonna put on top of it. Trying to see if I can find this damn tail. Where the fuck is this damn tail? I swear I'm not that on TikTok. I swear it was only a couple of days ago. What? Ugh. All of these TikToks and none of them are the Reggie Rock talk as well. Honestly sad. What am I doing with my life? Why is there so many things? Why are so many of them Valorant? Oh no. Anyway, so I want to find this so that you guys can understand what I mean. I can't even. Okay, I found it. Okay. So. Let me see. So they used a Kinpatsu pattern for it. All of them are Haley. So many of the ones that you have made. Oh my god. It's because of you. It's because of you. Blame you. I'm gonna give this to one of. Oh wait, it's gonna tell you guys. Wait, I need to figure out how to do this where it's not gonna show you who I am. Yeah, see, that links to me directly. Oh, we can't. Never mind. I can't show you. Never mind. I can't show anyone without doxing myself. Haha, hee hee. Sorry guys, can't show you after all. Damn, TikTok, what are you doing? Anyway, oh my god. But yeah, it's a very gorgeous tail. Send the name of the cosplay account. The cosplay account is Smoobibs. Smoobibs cos. It is their first non-pinned tweet. It's absolutely incredible. I sent it to the mods, so maybe one of them can reference it in some way without doxing anyone. Or you have a Mari TikTok. I don't want to log into it. Rest well, Mari. Stay safe, make good choices. But yeah, that's someone that you can check out. They made a really gorgeous tail. It's so spacey. And honestly, that would be the same kind of technique you would want to do for this. It's beautiful. Transparent Warbler with the vinyl will do wonders for you. It gets that nice hold to it. You can just put it all together, and the colors are pretty. And then from there, all of this is just farm. All of this gold decal is just farm. Just farm. It sounds like it's such a complex thing. It's gonna be complex. Like, it is. Because you're gonna have to cut out... First, draw out exactly how you want it to look, and then cut out all of those and make sure that you're applying them. But what you can do is, watch this. So, say we are building this piece. See how this overlaps here? We can see that this is a clear connection here that comes in to here. We can then go, okay, so this is going to be foam through here. We have all of this slight gold here. So we're going to know that this breaks up in these ways. So you would cut out all of these pieces and stick them together. And where that slight gold is, you can technically have that as gold wire. Or you can paint those as like where the connected joins are, depending on what you are personally comfortable with. You can also use dowel rod if you want to use foam as your connector pieces. But you can just go through, do all of that. You would then put the vinyl to every single one of these individually, so that they have their own slight differences as you glue them together. So you'd grab the pieces, put the vinyl on it, and then stick the other piece like that. So that you're not keeping it one big sheet over the top of it. Each one is done individually. And then you're attaching it. And then you can apply, because see how this one's coming over the top? You would then stick it on top. Like that. Like that. And that's gonna look stunning. It's going to be beautiful. 10 out of 10 ass design. But it's gonna be hard. It's going to be very challenging. You're gonna want to pattern that out multiple times, do multiple mock-ups before you put it to your correct fabrics. Or in this case, vinyls. So that's gonna take the most amount of time making those wings. What you can then do is there are so many wing tutorials where essentially they put like a brace on underneath and you can just attach them like that. Obviously you wouldn't have them come up today, you'd have them like only there. But there are these little bars that you then attach the wings to that hold them firmly in place so they're not going to fall off, and they make them detachable so that you can take them on and off as you need without a lot of issues. It's just doing selective cuts in the back of the fabric and then building it up like that. That's going to be the best way you're going to do it in this case. So yeah. I think that's everything in terms of that. I think I explained the wings well enough. I hope I did. If I didn't... Oh, also teeth. So get those fake teeth. You can buy vampire teeth that have a like mixture that you can like put to your mouth and it form fits them. It's how I do all my cosplay things. It takes a little bit of time to get used to speaking with them, but once you learn, it's like normal. It's no issue. And they're mold fitted to your mouth, so it's like easy to work with over time. Like it just becomes like second nature. I used to, when I spoke with them at the start, lisp and struggle. I can now talk normally, and you wouldn't know that I had like the teeth on. I need to find them actually, because I gotta bring them with me to Offkai. Anyway, so yeah, in terms for this cosplay, let's go in here. Honestly, for the complexity of this design, I will be honest with y'all. I would question every life choice when making those wings. Specifically when I'm making those wings, though. Alternatively, just have sharp teeth. That doesn't work for people like me. But yeah, you could have just sharp teeth. You're so right for that. But yeah. Look at that. We did 4. I'm proud of myself so far. So what are we thinking so far? Does anyone have any criticisms, concerns about everything that I've discussed today? I have an extra tooth that makes me look anime. That's crazy. A stretch. Thank you for the stretch. Oh my god, my back just cracked. Oh my god. I'm gonna take a drink. But you see what I mean by when I say that whenever I do like design breakdowns, they're very sporadic and bit by bit to what catches my attention. It's a funny habit. We're a little silly for that. Oh. I thought I would get through more faster. I really do, yeah. A lot of these are really good notes to apply on non-cosplay too, so like, yeah, let's go! Alright, we'll have time for 2 more at max. So let's go... Oh, there's still so many. Oh. Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, there's so many that I wouldn't get through. Wait, okay, Ah! Okay, this one because I had to giggle at their name. So this is Shirahana Mori. Their social on Twitter was done like this. My keyboard is breaking, as you can see by the 2 H's. God bless. It's so funny that Mori just left too. Oopsies. Thank you, Nightbot. But yes, so this one is so... I just love the look. It's such a cute fit. Firstly, I just want to say, this is peak character design. This is peak character design. Oh, hi, Maury. But yes, this is peak character design. If you give me a character that has the boots, oh my god, absolutely everything to me. Like, we're putting toe beans on the boots. Just like right beans. Exactly. But like, making that cosplay-wise is gonna be annoying, but worth it. Trust me, it'll be worth it. So, the shoes are immaculate. Absolutely 10 out of 10. The hair is wonderful. Stunning. Easy. That is an easy wig to work with. The ears, again, I have taught you guys everything you need to know about the ears. So let's talk about the tattoo. Now, if I remember correctly, Mori actually, when they submitted the entry, let me double check. I think Mori made a comment about the tattoos being difficult. Let me check that. Make sure I'm not yet, like, making things up. Yeah, I'm sorry for my sins for allowing my design to have complex design shoes, high socks, and tattoos. So, here is the thing. That tattoo is so easy. And you're probably thinking, what the fuck is Mari yapping about with this? What do you mean that's easy? That is a complex design. You're gonna print that out on tattoo paper, and you're just gonna temporary tattoo that onto your person. You are going to basically sit here, and you can trace it out. You can just literally sit here. So, like, as a cosplayer, you're gonna just sit there, and you're gonna go, okay, here are all the details. This is what being a cosplayer is all about for, like, exacts on your designs. You will see every cosplayer do this. Parts where you need to make it up, you make it up. You're gonna go through, and you're gonna get every single detail. And then you're gonna make it up on the parts where you need to. And you can break it off into sections. So, like, that can be one section. This can be another section. And then you're just gonna put them on your person. Easy. That is not difficult. Cosplayers, this is not a sin. If you want your character to have complex tattoos, do it. Don't think it's gonna be something that comes back and bites you in the ass. It's not. It's stunning. It's beautiful. I think more characters should have tattoos as a treat. I think it's absolutely incredible. What if you don't have access to tattoo paper? You can get it from eBay. You can get it from eBay. You can get it from Etsy. A lot of stores sell it. It is actually very accessible. This is just temporary tattoo paper. There's a lot of like office places now, like office supply shops that sell it. It is very accessible. If you don't have it, just get some face paint. Just get some face paint and just paint it, and then seal it. Of course, you would have some rub. That would be expected in that case. That's why we say the tattoo paper. Sharpie on my ass. Do not put Sharpie on your ass. But yeah. Don't worry about stuff like that. Stuff like this, I look at that and I go, okay, that's easy. There is a character that I had to cosplay for a friend that has a full tattoo on their entire neck down their bust. I sat there at 5 o'clock in the morning with black face paint and a dream, and I manually, using the mirror, painted the entire thing onto my body for that costume. I'm not gonna say who the character was, but like there was a very complex design on the neck and the body, and I did it. Borderlands cosplayers exist. Trust me. Borderlands cosplayers sit there and they do the most intense design details that a tattoo like that is stunning. It is gorgeous. That is a piece of cake. Don't worry about what tattoos you put on your person. I mean, there are Chloe Price cosplayers. Look at the Life is Strange cosplayers. I knew two people who cosplayed Chloe Price that I was like close friends with. I sat there for about 2.5 hours for a photo shoot that we had, and I hand painted the entire of her sleeve onto that person. Identical to the reference. I think I still have it somewhere. I don't remember the name, but there was one cosplayer I remember who did Ruby, and that would probably be Mangaloo Cosplays. Casey. I know exactly who you're talking about. I don't know them. I don't know them. I hear they're really sweet and really wonderful, and a lovely person. Um, but yes, that's who you're talking about. Without a doubt, that is who you're talking about. They did Ruby. They got a group together for a lot of other people as, like, other characters as well. Yeah. Yeah. That's her iconic cosplay. No, real. Yeah, like, it was iconic. The fucking speed you answered that. I know a lot of cosplayers in certain communities. Hee hee. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so yeah. Just embrace tattoos on character design. I want to see more of it. Because honestly, that's not... It's easy to work with nowadays. Again, I spent 2.5 hours painting it onto a person on their arm. Like, it's not as hard as it used to be. Especially because good quality face paint is a lot easier to get access to as well. And, like, honestly, if I could ever recommend face paint to you guys, Tag face paint is my go-to natural preference as a face painter of all those years as well. Tag and Wolf paint, people are going to tell you Snazaroo, ignore them. Tag is where it's at. I swear on it. It is a water base. It is very good staying power. It is very, very vibrant. And it holds very nicely. And you don't have to do multiple applications. Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored. But Tag, if you ever want us, like, me to be sponsored, hit me up. I've used your products for so many years. I will shill you like there's no tomorrow. Hee hee ha ha. 12's hair. But yeah. Tag is the go-to. It always is. It always will be. It is my go-to piece. Like, I have used so many different brands. That is the only one that hasn't left me disappointed. Wolf, which is WOLFE, has a brilliant white and a brilliant black. The rest of the colors are fine. But the white is a one stroke and it's beautiful. It's not very, like, you know, it's very pigmented. It's not as, like stripey. And I'm very fussy about my white paints. Especially when you're dealing with fussing kids, you want to make sure that it is very quick and easy to apply. Wolf paint, Tag paint, you couldn't go wrong. I swear on them. There's a reason they're incredible and why I love them with every fiber of my being. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is where we're getting into old. This is where we're getting into some of the more difficult stuff because these are going to be painful to paint. So you're going to have to start utilizing screen printing or getting custom printed fabrics. Or you can paint them. Just cry. If you're going to paint them, just cry. There are a lot of websites now that custom print fabric as well for cheap. Airbrush, you could airbrush them. Still, you're going to have a lot of pain. Because you're going to have to make sure that they are very much so stretched to the exact of what you need for your body. Because with painting, if there's any kind of stretch, you are going to miss and get those cracks. So that's when I would recommend look at the online businesses like Spoonflower. Spoonflower exists for a reason. Utilize it. I know a lot of people that have used them. Spoonflower has never given them bad quality. It's pricier, but you give them a flat of what you need, and they will make it into, like, fabric per the meter. And you can pick the fabric. Get a nice stretch fabric. Print that pattern. It's a repeating pattern, and you can tell it's a repeating pattern because of how it looks. It's just flipped. Because they're meeting on the inside. Just do that. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of stress. That's what you're going to want to do. That's pretty easy. The jacket, there's not too much that I can say in terms of that. Section it, sew it together, get those nice stripes, or, again, get it printed so it has those stripes already. This is one of those costumes where you are utilizing Spoonflower and other things where it's printed out, because of how intricate those differences are, they're not paintable without running loss on your fabrics. Neck piece. Stunning, beautiful, perfect, 10 out of 10. You can't see my thing. 10 out of 10 character design right here. This is amazing. I love this. I don't understand why that is there, and that is why I love it. It is so... I love it. It's so scrunky. Like, yes, please, put that there. Because it's not attached to that. It's attached to the hood? Actually, wait. What is that attached to? Yeah, it's just there. It's just chilling. It's big chilling. I love that. That is so... I love that. So it's not attached to that. You've got your color, you got your little pendant. And then you've got your big ass, like, ring there. Yeah, it is just... You would just have it there. That's it. I love that, actually. That is beautiful. 10 out of 10. No, don't do that to me. There we go. 10 out of 10. I love this. That makes me want to cosplay it alone, because I just love it. I've not really seen that before. I love that, actually. Paw print is paw print. You can buy heart-shaped pupil contact lenses nowadays. They've got quite a few of them that I know of that exist. I have brands that I would recommend, but they're Australian brands. Hoshi Lenses has really good ones. Again, not sponsored. But if they do want to sponsor me, I use them all the time. Haha, Twirl's hair. Anyway, so yeah, they're really good. Absolutely incredible. And then, yeah, shoes. You can just paint shoes. Just paint them. It's easy like that. That's a nice, easy design at the end of the day. You're just repeating on both sides. It's pretty. This is a gorgeous design. The colors are stunning. Everything about this design had me, like, twirling my hair. What about the beans? Paint them on. Paint them on. Seal them. You're still gonna run the risk of losing them. Or you can put them down on fabric. Like, there's these special, like, grips that you can buy for shoes. You can buy the grips, cut them out in the pattern, and stick them on. You would have that texture of the grips, but one, they're functioning grips, so you've got good movement when you walk, and two, it will be that slight texture of the, like, prints. So you would have, like, the face, and then the slight, like, on top of it like that. Literal grippers. Yeah, exactly. What about the beans? Same thing. Do that too. Just like that. It would work perfectly. If you wanted to have that, like, 3D look, that's the way you do it. Otherwise, just paint them on. But painting them means you run the risk of them cracking, because you're going to be walking everywhere. You're going to be walking on all kinds of textures. That's the only downside with that kind of stuff. You run the risk. You calculate your loss. Put the funny little grippers on the grippers. I can't believe you guys made me say that. Anyway, so... in terms of complexity, there are a lot more things that would require a bit more knowledge for the costume. But the colors are gorgeous. Like, Mori is beautiful. Like, oh my god, Twirl's hair, like, Mori, you are stunning, actually. What if the term means to slap it on my shoes? Yeah. That's basically the same thing as the grips. It just doesn't have the grip to it. I'm just saying. Like, the foam pads work just as well. Just put the toe beans on the toe beans. Now we have that audio bite. No. But yeah, oh my god, Mori, you're so pretty, actually. Like, oh my god. Pop off. Like, actually stunning. I love your tattoo. I just think tattoos, you know? Like, oh my god. Anyway, so I'm gonna put this in. Like, this design is, again, there are challenging aspects. Like, I'm not gonna pretend there are not things in there that would be challenging for people, because there are a lot of things in there that you need to be aware of when you're working on it. So, like, here. Perfect. Yeah, okay, shush. Anyway, next. Let's see. Oh my god, we are running out of time. Okay, this person has 2 separate images. I really thought that I would have more time. Alright. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Do not sneeze! We are typing! I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze. Wait. Okay, sir. Eva! Sir. Thank you. Let's look at Nerd Jacket first. Wig. Very easy to work with. That is a nice wig to work with. You've got... Like, I love this. This is a very nice wig. Like, the hat, you're gonna have some fun making that hat. Good luck. I personally do not like making hats. I've made a couple of them. I hated it every single time. But some people enjoy making hats. So that's up to you. That's up to what you prefer. The ears... You can attach them directly to the hat to save you time. Because of how, like, the, like, framing is of it. Just put it directly on the hat. Just straight up. Just put it on the hat. Goggles, you can buy those. You can buy these, otherwise make them out of foam. And then, you can make that just like normal. That is a nice, easy thing to work with. You can buy, like, the sleeves for it at any office shop that you can put on your person. You can paint that, or you can vinyl that. Vinyling that would look very, very nice. You would have that nice sharp edge that you wouldn't run the risk of losing. So you can just vinyl. I have a Cricut, so I would just basically draw it out, put it to the Cricut, and the Cricut would cut it out, and then I just iron it on. Same with these. Otherwise, you can sew these on with, like, just grab the fabric, sew it on top like that. You can use a satin stitch, or you can do a straight stitch on top of it. Belt. You guys already know what I'm going to recommend with the belts. Again, that's the same. I just like this design. Pleated skirt. Oh my god, chef's kiss, perfect skirt. This, 100 out of 10. 100 out of 10. I love pleated skirts. I'm sorry, these are like, this is everything to me kind of thing. 100 out of 10 right there. Just that alone. I need to check something. So I'm assuming that since this is going into an orange and there's no clear, this is tights. So these are an ombre tight. So you can do that by dip dyeing a low... what's it called? There's a specific name for tights. Denia or something like that. A low one, so very, very sheer tight in dye to get that nice, like, effect. Make sure you wet them beforehand. If you wet them beforehand a little bit higher than when you want them to go, you can get that nice... Because it'll basically go to where you wet it, and then slightly above. So if you wet it a little bit higher, it'll get that nice bleed up into it. So you'll get that nice look. It'll stop it from just being a hard cutoff. So do that. Boots. Boots are pretty. I love the boots. The boots are stunning. This, you can use foam again, or you can use fabric, up to you. The little bag, I've made multiple bags like that. I used foam. You can use fabric. You can use fabric with interfacing to make it hold very nicely in its shape. I like using foam because it has that extra stability, and then you put the fabric on top of the foam. Oh yeah, how do you make those things stay on your thigh? So if you use the tights method that I was talking about, where you use the stockings and you dye them and all that, you can sew it in. Just sew it into the tights. Otherwise, there is a type of glue for special effects makeup that you can apply to your thing that will hold it in place. But yeah, there was a cosplay where I needed to do thigh highs, and I had tights on that day, so I just sewed them into the tights. And so now they are permanently there. And it works. I can just put them on and they're there. And you can then just undo them. People sometimes also use safety pins if you want to really be careful about it. I just say sew it in. Sewing it in is nice, it's clean, it's effective. And you're going to have the tights on anyway. And these are going to be super specific because you've dyed them. So you might as well go the full extra mile and just, like, sew them in. Rosé. No, it's a specific name. Let me try and get the name for it. Because I've mentioned it a couple of times now and I still don't have it back. I love how I think I just automatically remembered it. It's Spirit Gum. It's Spirit Gum adhesive. I love how I was like, let me figure out what it's called. Types in Spirit Gum straight away. I told you, it would happen. Like, I just literally went, oh yeah, let me get the name of it. Types it in. I'm a next level stupid. I ain't got no thoughts in this head of mine. But yeah, Spirit Gum. There you go. That's the adhesive that I'm talking about. And there's a special thing that you can use to remove it. But Spirit Gum is the thing. It's an adhesive, mostly made of SD alcohol 35A and resin, primarily consisting for affixing costume prosthetics such as wigs, false facial hair, and other things. You can use it for other stuff. It is very fun to put on your person. It is not very fun to remove it. You need to get the remover. For the love of God, get the remover. Do not. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare. Is it edible? It is not edible. Do not put it in your fucking mouth. There is also, while we're talking about it, there is a really cool thing called rigid colloidin. Colloidian? Rigid colloidian. If you ever want to make really good quality effective scars, do not use liquid latex, use rigid collodion. Because what it does is what you would do is you would line it with like a lip liner that is like a color that you would want your scar to be, and then you apply it one layer at a time, and it tightens your skin as you need it to be, and it makes it like kind of like dip in and sink. So it looks like a scar texture on your person. It is incredible. It can do some amazing work. I recommend that for like scarring where you want it to have that sinking look. Speaking of special effects. But yeah, that's my go-to. Anyway. So yeah, that's how you would attach them. This jacket. Good luck. So, I do love it though. It's actually incredible. But good luck. If you put that in front of me, I would look at you and go, do I have to make that, please? Don't do this to me. It's the same with Rai. I look at Rai's design and there's certain aspects where I'm like, no, I would rather not, thank you. I have a certain fight with jackets. They can be a nightmare to make. So I try and avoid them where possible. And since this is a very baggy jacket, you'd want to try and keep that bagginess as much as possible. And see how, like, this is the body here. Right? It's coming out a lot. So you want that bagginess. And it's huge. So you're going to have to mess around with a lot of things to really keep that, like, big bagginess look while keeping it open. And these are big fucking straps. So you're going to have big straps. It's incredible. I love this design. This design is beautiful. I've been drawing all over the actual design. No, I didn't make a new layer. No! Anyway. Beautiful design. None of the fabrics are touching skin. Yeah, that's where it gets difficult. That's why it's like, as a cosplayer perspective, that is a pain. Because you're working with a lot to try and then make that sit on your person. Honestly, if you really did want that exact look, that is when you're going to utilize foam. You're going to get foam, You're gonna put the fabric on top of the foam, because you can do that. You can do this entire thing out of foam and then like put the fabric to it like a case, and then it will hold that exact shape. It's not gonna move. It's gonna hold firm, and it's gonna sit however you sit it. But it's gonna be a pain. I like all these little decals. I like these. These are nice. I like these. I like the stripe going down it as well. But yeah. Gonna be difficult to move the arms though. Yes. That is a sacrifice that you would make. It's gonna be difficult to move the arms no matter what you do. With a jacket like that, you would be constantly trying to pull it up again anyway, because of how it's sitting, unless you lose a lot of that puffy outiness. Plus, I'm gonna be real with you. VTuber pose the entire time you're wearing the cosplay. Exactly. The amount of times I've worn a cosplay where it's difficult to... Like, there was this one cosplay I made last year, which I'm not gonna say the name of it, because it is a very specific cosplay. I had, like, a piece that sat, like, over my body like this, and I could only move my arms to, like, halfway. I could not lift them above my head. I had to keep them, like, 90 degrees and down, because of the fact that it was constricting here, because that's how the design had it. Yeah. So you will lose, for a lot of costumes, movement in some part of your person anyway, let's be real. Wait, really? Yes. Because it was so pinned in. And because of what angle it was on, to get that really nice look, yeah. And that is why it looked like you could lift your arms over it. It was a time. It took a lot of very careful maneuvering. It was not easy. Rai was my guide for a lot of the day and helped with a lot of stuff. But yeah, there are costumes where you're gonna have limited visibility, limited movement. That's just cosplay, baby! You're gonna give up something every time. Your sacrifice is worth it though, always, for the aesthetic. But yeah, Kiba's design, absolutely gorgeous. Drives me insane. Absolutely, like insane positive. Like, do you know what I mean? That's my excitement right there. Incredible design. I love. Do you think he'll do another one of these streams? I don't know. I don't know if this is, like... If you guys want one, I can consider another one. Like, I can consider it. It depends on what you guys want, really. But yeah, Kiba. Yapping streams. Just streams where I sit here, like, just going off about things. So real. Okay. And again, I love Kiba with every part of my soul. My beloved. I would question every life choice because of that jacket. My cosplay podcast is real. I'm learning things. Yeah, let's go! But yeah, that's Kiba. I love Kiba so much, actually. Like, their design is incredible. She's stunning. I love Kiba so much. Let's close Mori. Don't give me that noise. Don't give me that noise. Please. It gives me anxiety. Anyway. Odds that I'll use them is low, but I'm learning. Honestly, you never know when you're gonna use things. Like, you'll just think of it one day and you're gonna be like, oh my god. Let's see. I feel like it would be a crime if I don't do these two. So I'm gonna do 2 more, and then that's it. No more after those 2. So. Float. I love Float's design. I need to do my red pandas. Okay. So. Discussing Float. Float has a very nice cohesive cosplay like design that I think is stunning. And I think the only thing that makes me giggle is the fact that as a cosplayer... Oh yes, I'm gonna put the name in. So true, so true, so true, so true. Let me correct the error of my ways. See, what would I do without you? I go straight into yapping. I can't type on this damn keyboard today. whimsical. Okay, so with this, the only thing that makes me giggle is the fact that I look at this design and I go, motherfucker, I have to buy 2 sets of contacts. That is the only thing where I'm like, god damn it. Because we have, and like, I do the same with mine. Same with me. I would have to buy 2 separate contacts, like packs of contacts. Like, there's no getting out of it. Like, that's just happening. That is like, yeah. God damn it, 2 separate packs of contacts. Real. So, okay. Looking at Flirt here. Blue, red, perfect. 2 different, like, ones here. Love it already. Like, absolutely incredible, stunning. I love the color choice because I love red and blue coating. Red blue coating is my favorite thing. So you hand me a design that is so red blue. At least now you don't have to look for new red and blue contacts for other cosplays. True, you can reuse them. And that is very, very important. Let me check something very quickly. Okay, yeah, so basically, you'd be buying 2 pairs of contacts for this design, and that's nice, that's fine. Oh my god. The ears, I've already taught you guys how to make the ears. Look at the little panda ears. For here, this is what I love though, because you can see here this color texture difference. So what you would have is you would have your normal ears, you'd have your fold, but you'd have to cut your thing a specific way, like when you're like shaving it down, to have that inside like fluff. I love that because that is a attention to detail that you're gonna have to pay attention to. A cheat way though, if say you fucked up and you accidentally did it like fully shaved, because like that's the ear. You got the fluffiness. So you've just pulled that in, you've done all of the shaving, and you've gone, oh shit, I've shaved this down too far. You know what you can do? You can get a like little fur like circle, you know those little fur keychain balls? You can just stick one in there. Boom, done. Glue it in. It's done. That's your best way to make up for like a mistake like that. Yeah. Don't start again. Just get the fur, stick it in. Then, it's not like your ears are going to be moving much, so you can have them in place. So what you would do is, because with these ears, how you do them is you start them like this, and then you fold them slightly with a lot of the tutorials to have that nice, like, dimension, like that kind of thing. And then you can just, in this little gap here, put the fur in there. It'll hide the seam in this part here, so they're not seeing that, they're just seeing the fur. Is the tip of the ears blue? Yes. So, you know what I'm gonna say about that? If you have an airbrush, you're thriving. If you don't, have fun. You would just have to then dye that blue. A good way to do that is, yeah, it's a red base. So do the red base and then put the blue on top. Be careful to not make purple. Be very careful and conscious of that stuff. Because if you were to say, be like, oh, but what if I use a white base and then I just, like, dye them that way? Have fun. I mean, you can try it. You can definitely give it a try. There's no harm in trying. I am very careful with dye jobs because there was one time everything aligned for me that my dye should have been perfect. And this has happened a few times now. I say one time. I'm thinking of one time in particular where my color was a green into blue. And the green was perfect. My test for the blue was perfect. Put it to the actual fabric. Guess what? It was not perfect. And that's why we are very careful with dyes. I have to dye a whole heap of stuff soon and I'm not excited about it. I bought the dye and I was like, oh, okay. I have to dye feathers, which sounds easy. I'm still terrified. I love this. So this is a personal character design choice that I love. I love this. Do you know what is very painful to view, like make costuming wise? That. But it's worth it. It's so good. I like the neck piece. This is stunning. I love all of this. You would sew that in. So you know how I've been like, oh, you can paint it. No, sew that in. Absolutely sew that in that time. Just do a straight stitch along it. So a straight stitch for reference is, so this is the thing that you're sewing in. This is a straight stitch. If you ever hear me say satin stitch, this is a satin stitch, where it goes like this the entire way. Just do a straight stitch for that one. Don't pain yourself with that one. If you do it wrong, it's painful. Just nice little straight stitch along that entire part, and you won't have any issues. These bands, guess what you can make them out of, guys? Foam! Chains. I've taught you guys about the chains. You can either buy chains themselves, or you can buy foam chains. Don't make them yourself out of foam. They are agonizing. They exist now as pre-mades. Utilize that. Utilize your resources. So yes, it's going to take a bit of extra time, but you have a nice clean consistency between every single chain link that you're gonna have a lot more trouble doing if you do it by yourself. We have human error. The pre-mades have machine accuracy. Then gloves. I love gloves. I love gloves in character design. I also love that it is open finger in 2. And I think it's only 2. Let me see. Okay. I think it is only open finger in 2. So never knew the names of those stitches. I use them all the time. I recommend learning the names of stitches because like they're gonna come up in places and you're gonna be like, what does this mean? Yeah, so there's only 2 that are visible. So that's gonna be funny. A good trick that I learned. I'm gonna teach you guys an amazing cosplay hack that I learned. So this is your fabric, right? And then you put your hand up against the fabric like this and you're like, ah, yes, this is my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so this is your hand. Sorry, I'm not doing this properly. Like, you can tell, like, that's just... that you know what a hand looks like. I don't need to explain this to you. I don't need to draw this pretty. I just have to explain it. What you're going to do is you're then going to outline it with a, like, pen or something like that, right? And then you're going to basically decide where your stitches are going to be. So how thick you want it. So you're going to come in here and you're going to pin along here, right? You're going to put all your pins strategically along your hand. And then what people would normally do, and keep in mind, this is where you put the 2 fabrics on top of each other. So you've got 2 fabrics on top of each other at this point. You're then going to put it directly under the sewing machine. You're not going to do what a lot of people do next, which is then cut it out. You're going to sew along this line. And then, after you've done that, then you're going to come through and you're going to cut it out on the outside of your seams. And then you have the glove. You flip it and the glove's done. Like that. Already sewn 2 pieces together. There's no fiddling about. There's no messing around trying to get it to work. You had it on the one big page, fabric, doubled. You've drawn it. You've done all of your stuff. You've directly sewn it in. And then you've cut it. And it's perfect. Is that not the most insane life hack that you guys have ever learned for gloves? Because normally you would trace it out, cut it, line it up on both sides, and then sew it together. This way saves you so much time. Especially because you're going to have fingerless, and you're going to have to make sure that they are looking nice. Same difference. So there you go. You guys have learned something today. That's a good little life hack for you guys for making gloves. Always use stretch fabric. If you don't have access to stretch fabric, cry. You can still use non-stretch fabric. It's just that stretch fabric is a lot more forgiving for gloves. So I always recommend you stretch. No, the pins keep it in place, but is there a technique that keeps the 2 fabric from moving around when I moved around the sewing machine? The pins will keep it in place, and keeping the two fabrics together will keep it a lot more consistent. Use more pins. The more pins you use, the tighter those two fabrics are going to be. Other than that, just be gentle with your fabric. But yeah, that's going to be your best way to do it, because the fabric will move. It's just that the more pins you use, the nicer it's going to be. There's also fabric clips as well if you don't like using pins, but they are specifically for two pieces that wouldn't work for gloves in this instance. Should I be worried about the pins going under the sewing needle? Yes, do not do that. Do not put them directly under the sewing needle. You can snap your needle. Ask me how I know. The reason why I know that is because I've done it. I snapped. And the thing is, when you snap a needle in your sewing machine, it does have the risk of flying. So, you need to be careful. No replacement. You can buy so many needles. You can buy so many needles to put into your machine. It's recommended after every big project, you swap out your needle. Make sure it's at its maximum sharpness. So don't keep your needle in for too long. Make sure you are regularly replacing and updating. Make sure you use the correct one for the correct fabric. Not every needle is good for every fabric. You do have universals, but there are ones that are better suited for specific fabrics than other. So stretch needle versus a satin needle are not the same. There is denim needles as well. Again, you just need to make sure you are buying the right needles for your machine and for the right fabric. And they do tell you that on the needles. When you go to the fabric shop, they will tell you exactly what that needle is for. Oh no, yeah. It's happened a few times to me where I've accidentally gotten them caught into the machine and it's landed on that and snapped. Says that the needle has been sitting in the several sewing machines at home. You need to change them. It is very important that you change them semi-regularly. As I said, after every big project, it's going to give you the best for your, it's going to be the nicest way to look after your fabric. Because blunt needles aren't going to be as effective as sharp needles. Not me just slapping every fabric under my DIY sewing machine. It's fine. Trust me. It's fine. There are universal sewing needles. They're just... If you want the best, you got to, make sure that, you're making sure they're sharp, they're being effective, they're not too dull, they're not having to brute force their way through your damn fabric. But yeah, it's a very good important thing to keep in mind. But yeah, these are foam gloves. I taught you that. Same with the brace, the arm bits. You do the same technique that I told you for that. These straight stitch them down. You can satin stitch these. They have the white there. Satin stitching makes me sad, but it is very good. It's very effective. The skirt's easy to make. It's just a standard, it's just a standard skirt. You've got this underneath, so you've got your shorts underneath. Safety shorts are always very good in every cosplay that you do. Paint those on, or get a fabric that has them already in there. Satin stitch. So true. Me. Fishnets. Fishnets are common. You can get them anywhere. You can cut them. You can have them so that they do go all the way up. Because, they're up here as well. So you can basically do your first layer is your fishnets. And then you put on these ones. Put on the foam braces there. And then these are shoes. Shoes! And everyone's going to want me to talk about the tail, so let's talk about the tail. The tail is going to be very big. It's very complex. Since that is taking up... So this is how we know what kind of tail we're going to use as the base. So I'm going to grab... The tail's probably going to end around there, right? So this is our tail. That's in line with how our tailbone would sit there. Wouldn't go above there. I'm now going to take that. We're going to deform it. That's most of your body. That is going to be very, very heavy. So, you need to be careful with how you're making it. Now, you can use the foam method that I recommended for Minyate's tail, but that's going to be heavy very fast. Unfortunately, any tail you do is going to have weight to it. The issue that you will encounter, and this is going to be the big one, is you have to basically figure out how to support your back when it's carrying that weight. A lot of people would do a belt. So you would have a baseboard and then the belt. You have an open stomach here that you have to think about. So there's this visibility here. So if you were to do it, you would have to hide it underneath this skirt part where it's not visible. But it can't be too high up the body. It has to sit low to basically protect it. But you're going to put, if you go for like a very accurate of that tail, it's gonna hurt after a while. You're gonna have to get used to walking around with that tail for a while before you take it out. But it will look nice, honestly. And you can also do the method where essentially you do get the pull noodle. So you would pull noodle the entire way. So you section it off. You get wire to base it. And then you essentially do the exoskeleton in pull noodles like this. Like that. All the way through. And then you cut out all of your fabric. You would do all of your splits for that. And then, honestly, to fill it, get some plushie filling. It's going to be expensive. Plushie filling is not cheap. It is very expensive. But that's probably going to be the nicest ways you can do it. You will have to forgive on how much movement your tail will have. But if you really do want a lot of movement in your tail, what you can do is you can sew in some fishing line that attaches to your finger. So when you lift your hand, your tail will instantly curl up as well, wherever it's held. So that would then come up to here if you move your hand up and would follow. So that's what a lot of people can do. And the thin fishing wire is very easy to hide in photos and very non-visible. So it's a nice way to do it. It's just that you're going to have that weight. It also means that when you're walking around, since this will drag on the floor, it's a lot easier if you just bring it up a little bit when you're walking. So having your hand a little bit higher would mean that it would not be on the floor as much. Puppet tail. Exactly. It's a nice little trick way to get away with it. So that's my big recommendation there, is you're going to want to make sure that your tail's not dragging on the floor the entire day. You're going to need to make sure that you're comfortable wearing it a lot. And you're going to have to find a nice way to hide it. Another cheat way to hide it. And this is also for people that have, like, anxiety, like, showing off their stomach. So I did this for a costume that was Borderlands. Where I, obviously, because you guys know, I very much so have a phobia of belly buttons. I don't like seeing them. Everyone do their own thing. I don't mind about it. I just get very stressed about belly buttons. It's a whole fear thing. What I did, where I had to have an exposed, like, midriff, was I got the shapewear that was, like, the same tone as my, like, body, and then just detailed where I needed to. You could do that, because then what you can do is you can have the belt underneath it. You would still have that slight jutting out, though, is your only issue. So I guess, yeah, at the end of the day, you want to slip it under this somehow, or bring this a little bit higher that way. Hi, Tomo! Hi, Tomo! Hello! But also, it'll be tiring to walk around with it tied to your finger, because you're going to move your hand forward and your tail's probably going to trip you. That's why you can swap it between your hands. Just change which hand's got it attached. Take turns. Because, yeah, like, at the end of the day, a prop piece that big it's gonna be tiring. That's just how it is. Anything that you're carrying around an entire day is gonna drag on. The tail that I wore, as I said, was huge. It was, like, big, right? It was like that. By the end of the day, I was, like, leaning on things for a little bit of extra relief, because it was this whole extra weight that my body was carrying for a whole day. You're gonna feel it. But to tell Tomo about tail talk? Yeah. With these, These would be cute to just paint on, honestly, to get that nice effect. These can... Where is my... These can be vinyl. Vinyl them. That's nice and easy. Or you can sew them in. You can sew them in if you want. But vinyling is very nice. It's very... Cut them out on vinyl. Stick them on. Their iron on vinyl exists for a reason. That shit is a lifesaver. And because these look like they're shiny, please tell me that they're shiny. These better be a shiny fabric. You can have a nice shiny vinyl and iron them in, and then you've got that nice shine. And I like that. My extra brain processes that as like shiny. Did you talk about me yet? No, not yet. You have not been mentioned yet. I have 2 people left. This person and one other person, so it's so funny you came in when you did. And then, remember how I discussed that scarring scarring liquid, the rigid clay? As you can see, there is a line that runs along here. These little things. Use that there. Just straight up, just use it there. If that's a scar, just do that. It's easy. It would take you 2 seconds. And like, see, it's consistent through the whole of the expressions. It's a scar. So all you would do is color out that baseline. So you would get a like lip liner or something, and you would draw out how you want it to sit on your person. So you'd be like, okay, I want these like these. If you wanted more of a 3D texture, you would not do those bits. But if they were also part of the part that would have to be like ingrained into your body, you would do that. And then what you would do is you would get the applicator, which is a little brush, and you would brush line and by line, so like layer after layer, into these parts. And what it'll do is like, this is your skin, right? And you've just done this. You've just put the line across like this. What it'll do is it'll scrunch the skin up and bring it down. So then your skin will have this like slight bump down, and then you'll see it kind of like makes that kind of scar texture where it looks like it's been pulled. And then you just pull it off. You just get a nice funny little peely at the end. You just peel it away and you're back to normal. Like, just be silly about it, you know? Yoink that latex right off. Oh, latex, no. No. Don't use latex for that one. Latex makes me cry. I love latex effects. I also learned while using latex for a special effects makeup piece that I did, but I'm allergic. But not enough for it to be a concern, just enough that like it's just like, oh, I need to be a little bit conscious of this. But I can still use it. The peel is good, but the rigid collagen would be a lot nicer to use in this situation. Like, I love that stuff. Wait, let me show you what it looks like, actually. Because, like, it's a very nice scarring liquid, and they use it for a lot of special effects. Here we go. So this is done using it. And then, so is this. So both of these are just using that. It's just a makeup effect. It looks real. Yeah, that's why I recommend it. It's so good. Because it just basically, see how it's scrunching up the skin? It feels a little weird at first, and it's like a plasticky touch once it dries. It does sometimes have a shine to it, so you do have to kind of like brush over it with like a setting powder to try and like minimize that shine. And that's also why I recommend doing like the darker color. See how this person did that like darker color and then continued it? That's why I recommend that, because it helps kind of like fix some of that shine that it gets, because it does have like a plasticky shine. But like it's good. Look at it. Look at those. They're stunning. That's why I recommend it for any kind of scarring effects. And like if you'd say, for example, my scarring, you would have it so that like you have the arm, right? Look at that. So detailed. You would do all of the details, and then you would brush it over the top in the layers that you need it to. And the more layers you put, the deeper down it goes. So on the outsides can have less layers than the inside, and it has that really nice sinking effect. And you just do it like that. Just like that. And then setting powder over the top so that it doesn't go everywhere. and it kind of like buffs it down a bit. But you would do all of your colors on the inside. So you would want to make sure that all of your colors are set underneath it before you apply it. Do not apply it and then try and put it on top. That's not how it works. We don't do that. It's also how I did, because I think I've talked about it before. I've done Cinder from Ruby. Like Cinder from Ruby has some particular scars, and that's what I used for it. It works. It's great. It's fine. Like, it's a good product. I recommend it wholeheartedly. But yeah, I think that's all of my suggestions. The wig is a very nice standard wig. This is the only thing that you're gonna be like, come on, because you're gonna have to. Let me just quickly double check. There are a couple of streaks in there. So yeah, you'd have to buy separate wefts, because there's a weft there, there's a weft there. You would have to buy a pack of wefts and then sew them in. Some people would say you can just hot glue them in. Do not hot glue them in. It does affect the wig in the end. Just do a straight stitch. Just a nice sew it in. It's easy to learn how to sew in wefts. There are so many resources. There are so many tutorials. I personally, and again, this is my opinion and my thoughts. Oh, did my disclaimer disappear, by the way? I'm not saying anymore. But yeah, this is my thoughts, my feelings. That's what I would recommend, is just buy some wefts, sew them in. This you can make in so many different ways. So you can actually like use the method of like wire base and then do it. There's the foam base and then glue it on top. There's so many different ways you can do it. Like, I could spend hours talking about the different ways you can do that. There are some ways where they get the wire and they put it there, and then they get sticky tape or something clear film and do it, and then apply it on top. You can use like there's 10 billion different ways, and then you sew it in. But that you can do that defying like weft. You can also use a shit ton of got2b hairspray and heat to get it up that high as well naturally. That's just a lot more finicky and annoying to deal with. The ones where you do like a nice base and then build up from there are gonna be your easiest way. But yeah. That is Flirt. Hee. In terms of where I would put Flirt, I would put Flirt, because like the tail is gonna be your hardest part, but it's easy to Okay, I'm gonna put Flirt here, just because of that tail. Just because that tail is gonna require a lot of trial and error to make it as non-painful as possible to walk around all day. Okay. I love how I was like, I'm gonna get through so many people today. Oh my god, I am not. Let's see. Our last one. Oh my god, there's still so many to go. I'm so sorry. Has it been 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my god. Holy shit. Kindling's petition for another stream. Like, if there is enough interest for it in the Discord server, again, I look at the Discord server. If you are interested in more, you need to be loud about it in the Discord server. That is where I track interest, and how I plan my scheduling is by retention and feedback that I receive in the server specifically. So if you do want to see more of these streams, be loud about it. Be loud about it in the Discord server. Otherwise, you know, I don't know. Okay, we all know who this is, but let's yeah. Come on. So this bitch is my wife. So I'm gonna use red again. This red. I'm gonna use Mari red. See, I have a pre-saved Mari red right here. Nikki. Yippee! Okay, so I've looked at this specific ref so much for reasons. You know what? You're real for that. Firstly, ears. We have discussed ears. For this design specifically, I'm going to recommend the method of magnets, because you can slip them in there on a specific part of the head where it's kind of going to work really nicely to just put them in there, you know? Now, they're very fluffy ears, so you've got your normal standard, you've got your foam wire for sides. You would then fold slightly here to get that thing. There's that little fluffiness there. You'd need to make sure you account for that. Slap on those ears. This, there's probably a lot of, like, twine that you can get with that kind of color. Otherwise, it's easy to do yourself. But look for, like, ones that already exist. Trust me, it exists. It has to exist. Christmas exists. And this is, it's, you know, it's candy cane. It looks like candy cane. I look at it and I just think, mint. So, you would just make it as normal, just like you would any other bar. Oh, sure, it existed. Yeah, like, it has to exist. I would be shocked. You're only buying one set of contact lenses. Let's fucking go. Glasses, you can buy cheap, like, lensless glasses at anywhere, really. Like, any kind of, like, cheap place. So, like, reading glasses, you can break off the tops of them since... Wait. Yeah, since there's no tops, just break them off the top. You can just cut them out, and you'd have that. Or you can buy, like, a wire lens if you want. Use as my own glasses. It's cosplay. I would also use my own glasses since I have glasses, and I'd just be like, hee hee, what do you mean there's a top part to it? I don't know what you mean. Ha ha ha. But yeah, that's nice and forgiving. The color is a very forgiving color. You're gonna find those kind of contacts everywhere. They're just they're your typical amber eyes. There are so many different lenses. Now, if you did want to go a little bit fancy, there are a specific brand with Hershey. So Hershey, again, is my go-to. I need to stop chilling them as if, like, I'm sponsored by them. I'm not. They're just who I tend to go with. So, like, my brain just automatically redirects to them. You can buy contact lenses from a lot of places. I do recommend that you take a lot of care with your contacts, because a faulty contact lens can cause critical damage to your eye. And I'm not just playing that up. Like, they can do irreparable damage to your eyes in ways that will affect you permanently. So you need to make sure whenever you get a new pair of contact lens, you properly search them. So what you need to do is check the edges for any kind of cuts or gaps in them. Make sure that there are no breaks in the lens. Is this speaking from experience? Yes. So a lot of you know that I wear glasses. A part of the reason why I wear glasses is because when I was younger, I put in a pair of faulty contact lenses. My eye was shut for 3 days. I couldn't open my eye. And since that incident, every year my eyesight goes worse in that eye. It is permanent. It will never be fixed. And eventually there will be no more sight in that eye. And that's just what I have to live with now. Just from a pair of faulty lenses. It's just how it happens. That's why you've always got to make sure you're taking proper care. Once your contacts are expired, you need to get rid of them. I don't care if they look fine. Once they hit past that expiry date, you get rid of them. You need to be smart with how you manage your lenses. You need to make sure you are using them correctly and being careful. I wanted to get contacts if I ever need to get... Look, as I said, as long as you are taking care and making sure that they are fine before you put them in. I didn't check. I was not careful, and I paid the price. So it is my job to make sure that I teach you guys how to take care and how to check these things. Check for the slight cuts. There was a situation 2 years ago, I think, where I got another pair of contacts and I did my checks and there was a slight cut in the lens. And because I had checked beforehand, I saved myself a bad situation. Because that was the exact same cut in the lens that had done what had happened to me. And it could have happened again if I was not careful. So I advised them, they were aware, I got a refund. It was all fine. Like, it just happens. Unfortunately, these things can happen with stuff like this. It is up to how you handle and maintain and protect yourself. That is what's most important. I need 2 pairs of contacts if I want accurate eyes. Yeah, contacts are also very expensive. I pay like $30 a pair. But some of the contacts that I would recommend, again, these are from the company that I know of. Beautiful. This is a CosCon Anime Orange. They are $35. There is a candy brown that I really enjoy. So that's a really nice color as well. That's a $30 pair of contacts. This is all prices in AUD. These are all different brands as well. You also have this... Palpa, hello! Thank you! How are you today? Hi, Palpa! So we've got here a Lollipop Gold Yellow. We also have the Anime 3 Yellow. So I'm gonna open that one now. So that is the Anime 3. That's a really nice color. They're currently out of stock on the website, so like you're gonna have to deal with that one. But that's a really nice color when you then compare it to like Tomo there. So if I grab that. Whoa. Like, that's a pretty close color match. And then I have here as well Anime 2. These are all of the ones that I had open while we were talking about that. And honestly, we've got that one. And then there was also that one. Oh, wrong button. Oh, wrong one again. Oh my god, where am I going? I'm going this way. Those are some nice contacts there. This one's getting into the little bit lighter territory, but those are all really good contacts that you could use. Again, I don't want to scare you guys from using contacts. I want to educate you guys using what was a very traumatic experience for me to make sure that you are handling them with care, taking care. Again, you will buy contacts that have 6 months of a lifespan to a 1 year. The second you take them out of that packaging, that is when the time starts. Always circ your contacts 24 to 48 hours before putting them in. The contacts come in a little vial. You need to take them out of that vial, put them into the actual contacts like thing with good new contacts. Like, there is like a liquid that you use for your contacts. It's like a solution. Do not use the original solution. That is not safe. That's not good for your eyes. You want to transfer them into that, let them soak into the actual contact solution for a while. As I said, 24 to 48 hours is very good. And just kind of let them sit. You then want to inspect around the edges, make sure they're under like damages to the lens itself. Make sure there is no things that are like bumpy in it, like very visible like bumpy textures that aren't going to be good. You want to start, if you've never worn contacts before, you want to be very careful with how you apply them. You want to give yourself time to adjust to them, so take them on, put them on for a little bit, take them off again. Don't wear them a full day if you've never worn contacts before right away. You want to work your eye towards being comfortable with it, because you are technically just putting something on top of your eye. Remember, one of my friends kind of got to change out of the OGXs. It stings. It will sting. It will sting slightly. Your eye will adjust to it, but it will sting. It's not a good feeling. I have this situation now because of what happened to me where if I go to put a contact into my eye, I do get that like it will always tear up now. There's always going to be tears out of that eye because, you know, your body remembers very vividly. So I always have to be super, super careful as well because teary eyes and contacts are not a good combination. So make sure when you're wearing contacts, try to not cry. Try and avoid crying when you're wearing contacts. There's your Mari advice. Just don't have emotions. And again, these are for cosplay contacts. So these are not prescription contacts that I'm discussing right now. These are cosplay contacts. So these are slightly different to your prescription lenses that you would be offered. Gonna have a breakdown, but let me take my contacts out first. Exactly. Don't have a merchant's got it. Yeah! Now we're getting... Don't quote me on that. Anyway, but yeah, that is going to be a very beneficial thing for you guys, like in terms of like contact lens care. Just stay safe and make good choices. Need to cry about my contacts a fit footy. Yeah! It's like a cosplay that I have to do soon for Okai will require contacts. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited, guys, for contacts. Yeah. I also need to go through and, like, I have a huge collection of contacts where I kind of have to go through them and start trashing them because, era is starting again, meaning they've got to go. They've hit their 1 year. Don't fuck around with it. That's my biggest advice. Just don't fuck around and find out. You'll end up like me. And you'll get hunted down by your fucking optometrist every year for, like, eye checkups. Do you want to be hunted down by your optometrist on a yearly basis? No, you do not. So listen to me. Anyway. This pattern. Now, I feel like as much as this is a very pretty and nice pattern, getting this... Actually, let me check. I'm gonna do one quick Google search. So it's a checker. Yeah, straight away. You're gonna have to do some dye job or you're gonna have to use spoon flour. Straight up. Like, it took me 2 seconds of Googling to go, yep, good luck. And, like, that's okay, because the 2 tones of the green are not a common combination. So, like, looking through everywhere, a pre-existing one that exists at the moment, the closest I could find is that. And can you see already, it's not the same color. And that's too drastic of a difference to kind of get away with it. There is also this cozy Christmas green. But the problem with this one is the fact that, like, it's going to be annoying to work with because you're going to have to try and do that. And it's going to annoy you. Trust me, it's going to fucking annoy you. Like, you're going to accidentally do one thing wrong on that, thing, and you're going to hate it. It's doing a weird effect on my screen. Yeah, it's because of the pattern of the fabric. Alright. So, there is, and I'll say it again, spoon flour. There's other places as well. This is non-sponsored. Spoon flour is a good friend. You're gonna want to basically utilize spoon flour. Basically what you do with spoon flour is you give them the pattern. So you go, okay, they will tell you what, like, you need to have in terms of, like, how big it is. You would say, this is the pattern that I want. So this is the pattern that I want here. And this is the dimensions of it to the fabric per meter. And then they print it. They screen print it. And then they'll ship you that exact pattern on that fabric. And that is going to be your most non-painful way to make this cosplay, is by doing that. Your boot covers, you're gonna hate yourself a little bit. Spoon flour. Spoon flour is the name of the company. Actually, let me fact check myself. I'm saying spoon flour because that's how I remember them, but that's the name of the company. Yeah, design and shop custom fabric. It is spoon flour. I know a lot of people that have used it. The quality is immaculate. It's really good. I have not heard a single complaint from any of my friends that have used that site, which is why I am comfortable enough to recommend it. I have personally never used it because I'm a stubborn bitch. And I will either dye it myself and deal with the consequences, or I will paint it myself and deal with the consequences. But I have seen friends get gorgeous printed fabric from that company, and it come out gorgeous. I used gorgeous twice to accidentally, but it really emphasizes that it was very pretty fabric. So that's my recommendation there for a company. Again, I'm not sponsored. There's probably really good companies that are local to you guys that would have that kind of a, like, service as well. Check your reviews, do your research, make sure you are picking what is right for your needs. They also have pre-mades as well. So you could probably even find that in the ones that they offer. Why does it feel like a Ruby ship? It is giving Ruby ship vibes. But yeah, making the boot covers is going to be a nightmare. But you can do that. I believe in you. Let's see. Let's come back up here. Now the wig. So, as I told you guys at the start, I am not a wig maker. Wigs are my personal weakest point and the thing that I hate the most about costuming. These like, these are intentional, right? These are like actual stripes into the like hair, right? Tomo, tell me if I'm wrong. These are intentional stripings. Yep. See, this automatically would put you, for me, here. For that alone. Because if you do not have an airbrush, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be a pain. Because you're gonna have to then manually get that split color. And so it's lighter. But it's gorgeous. It's stunning. It's beautiful. I am not a wig person. So that makes me pained. Sending you my model PNG. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, let's go. Hell yeah. Wait, let me save this. That is not the one that I should be saving it under. We're so back. Okay. Alright, yeah. See? These are intentional. Oh yeah, look at that detail. Oh god. Kissing you softly on the forehead. Smooch right here. Anyway, so these stripes here are going to be very complex to have to put into the actual wig itself. It can be done. It's just, it's going to take a lot of hard work and sectioning. But you can do that, absolutely. Especially if you have an airbrush. If you have an airbrush, that's actually super easy. Because what you would do is you would basically get a sheet of paper. You would then cut out what you want. And then you would airbrush across like that against it. And get that nice tone and detail that way. It'll also look a lot more natural doing it that way. So you'd want to use an airbrush on that preferably. But not everyone has an airbrush. So you're going to kind of have to work around that in different ways. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my god, you're so cute, actually. God bless. You can make that out of foam. You can 3D print it. Yes, obviously, we're not... Well, I keep saying this. I'm going at this without a 3D printer, like, focus. Because not everyone has access to that. And I'm going by what is the most accessible for everyone. I say after talking about an airbrush. But, like, that one, you can be helped. It's shiny metal in theory. That's the best thing. You can make that shiny metal. Like, you can easily do that. So there is the use of vinyl. So there is like a vinyl that you can put on top of foam. Other than that, you can heat seal it. Always heat seal your foam. And then a nice, bright, gold metallic paint. So what I would do is I would first put down a black paint base if my foam is not black already. And then I would put a pale metallic gold on top of it. And you're probably thinking, why in that order? So whenever I've worked with paint and colors, if I want a color to be very vibrant and very visible, you put it on a black base. The white base kind of makes it lose a lot of its punch. So having that nice black base before you put it on, and I can show you guys an example of this in the Discord server, of the difference between a white base foam and a black base foam. It's a huge difference, trust me. And I'll do it, actually. I'll make sure to do that when I'm working on cosplay this weekend. I'll show you, like, what I mean in terms of, like, how drastic of a difference this is. So I would do that, because that will really bring it out. This, vinyl. Yeah! You can vinyl that. You can also just make that. Honestly, like, you can make that. Again, I tend to be biased towards vinyl for a lot of things. Let's see. How does it sit after I remove all of my scribbles all over your pretty PNG? Oh, I feel bad putting it over your PNG now. There is that, like, dip in there. So what you can do is you can slightly pin it into the foam. So you would press down, and so what you would do is you would heat up the foam, right? So you would get your your heat gun, and so here, you would heat this, and then you would get your, like, whatever you're using for it. So if you're using another piece of foam, or if you're using, like, a actual, like stone or anything, and you would press into it while it's hot, and you would hold it in place as it cools down. The reason why is because as it cools down, it's going to remember that shape going down, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to have that nice dip effect. Like here. See how it's got that shape there? So that's what I'm seeing it as. Or if you wanted it to just be external, then you would just put it on top like that. But if you wanted it to look like it's embedded into it, that's how I would recommend it. And then obviously you contact adhesive, like, glue that in, instead of just using, like, don't use hot glue. Do not use hot glue for that. Use a contact adhesive. But you would want to basically emboss it into that before you place it down. Yeah. Okay. Double-sided sticky tapes. I will fight you. I will lovingly fight you. If you turn around and tell me that you double-sided sticky tape, I would lovingly crawl through my screen. Crawl through my skin. Crawl through my screen and fight you. I say that with love, though. I'm gonna take a sip. Look at that. I'm self-hydrating because I'm yapping so much today. My wife asked me if I'd seen the dog ball. I said no. Oh my god. welcome, Lord Caius. How are you today? Welcome. Okay, so now this bit. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Now with this bit here, now whenever I have made a, like, Obi or anything like that, I like to do a little sneak trick. And this has worked great for me because it's very nice. It holds form very nicely. So you know how if you just chuck a bit of fabric there, it's gonna do all of this. It's gonna do all of the wrinkling, and it's not gonna hold the exact form that you've got here. Like, this very specific form. There's not a lot of, like, adjustments here. It is very rigid. Doing good, just relaxing, vibing. I'm very well, thank you. It's nice to hear that you are doing good and vibing today. But yeah, you see how, Tomo, it's like that very nice form thing. The best advice I'm going to ever teach you is you are going to get foam. Again, foam is used in everything. I did this in one of my cosplays that had a very specific Obi. I did this in an Anastasia cosplay, because I know I've talked about an Anastasia cosplay before, where it had to be a very specific belt around it to the big bow, because it also held up the bow nicely. If you do your base in foam and then cover it in the fabrics, so do all your fabrics how you need them to, and then put it over that, it is going to hold so nice. It is also a nice firm hold to your body, and it looks very clean. There's no, like, ruffles. It is a clean, straight fabric. It looks gorgeous. I cannot recommend it enough. I love how it looks. I have done it 4 times now, and one of my cosplays, which I might not be bringing to Offkite anymore because of last minute changes, it also required that. Like, it's so good. It is genuinely incredible. It is a nice, clean way to make sure that your Obi looks perfect. Otherwise, you can use, like, interfacing and stuff like that. I just personally think that extra support is really, really nice. I like it. It works nicely for me. And then what you can do on the back so say pretend this is the back here, is you can have it so that you can then sew in like the snaps to sit the snaps nicely, and you would just snap them in place. I tend to always do it so that it goes a little bit over. And this is my personal advice for a really nice held like belt, or like obi in this case, is you would have 2 here and then 2 here. And you would have it so that like it goes over like that, and it's those 4 in place that are going to keep it very rigid and very firm. Because if you did just like these 2, then that part can slip down. If you just did these 2, that part can slip down. By having that nice consistent 4 big ones, you are keeping it nice and firm and in place with no ability for it to shift throughout the day. So it will always hold its form because of the foam. The foam will end up just working to your body anyway as you use it, especially because if you wear it, it's going to heat form to your body anyway beforehand, and you're going to do all of that while you're making it. And then it's just going to sit very securely. That's my recommendation from how many times I have done this in cosplay. It's never failed me. It has yet to fail me, I should say. It's not never failed me, it has yet to. And I mean, the few times I've done it, it looks good. But yes, from here, you can buy these and or just make them yourselves. You can make them using foam clay. So if you wanted that really nice anime kind of like look, foam clay will do you wonders. Just basically go through, make them, make sure there's a hole in each one. You're going to be doing that for ages though, but it is a nice way. Just get like fishing wire or like jeweler's thread that you can get, like the jewelry thread, like the clear one, put it all through. Same technique for these as the one above. You would just go through, make them multiple times. There was a time where I considered making a Pomu cosplay for, I didn't go through with it, but she had similar to this where it was like this kind of pattern, multiple like ways around. And what I did was I grabbed 2 pieces of foam, and what I would do is I would put them back to back and hold them in place like that. So they would have the thread going through them and they would sit like that. You can do that, or you can cut a nice like clean hole through the middle of it if it's thick enough foam, and thread it through like a giant bead. It depends on how you want them to look on the band, that is how you would go about doing that. And I can show you how that looks on the piece as well. I can pull it, like, the concepts out. But yeah, you would go through, you would do that the entire way. I'm assuming it links at the back. And you would just do that. This is bias. So you can make your own bias if you have trouble. I always have trouble finding a really nice gold bias, but there's always really pretty gold fabric or gold ribbon. I tend to buy a shit ton of gold ribbon and make my own bias. Bias is really good. So bias binding, I believe, is the full term. I just say bias. What it is a, like, it basically has like a slit, not a slit, like a fold on these 2 sides. And what you do is you would have it so like, this is a side view kind of thing. You would sew that line down, and then you would bring it across, and it would sit flat to the fabric, and then you would sew that down. And it gives that nice, clean kind of thing, because when you're looking at it, with how that's structured, you've just done it like that, and it's got that one nice, clean sewn line across it. It looks clean, it looks really nice. That's how you get those really nice edges on cosplays. So you would do that the entire way around. Make your own. It's not that bad. It's like a little thing that you buy and then you just iron through it. So you would feed the ribbon through it, and then it does all that bending, and then you just iron it down, and then it stays. That's how I do all of it to get the really exact bias colors that I need, because they are limited. At the end of the day, the ones you buy from the store are limited in what they do. It just takes a couple of hours. After that couple of hours, you're fine. Bandages are bandages. I taught everyone the glove trick, so you guys know how the glove trick works. You don't need to listen to that one again. Glove trick is easy, it's effective, it's gonna save your day. Shorts, so you got your shorts in here. Nice standards there. You can sew that into your shorts to keep them in place. Again, I always use for bags if you want them to be very sturdy, foam base and then fabric on top. Otherwise, you can just make that out of fabric like normal. Same with the foam for that. So there's no differences there. This one would be a little bit more complex. I would just get a like a knee pad, and then make the alterations. Bandages, bandages. Boots will be a little bit painful. You will hate yourself a little bit because you're going to have to make boot covers. But boot covers are worth it at the end of the day to get that really nice, clean, exact to what you want. So you would buy a pair of boots. You would wrap them in cling wrap or like cling tape or whatever you call it. The stuff that you use for like to keep your food fresh. We call it cling wrap. I don't know if that's universal. And then after you've cling wrapped your entire boot, you then grab duct tape and you cover it all in duct tape. So you would just fill everything with duct tape. From there, you would draw where you want your seams to be and how you want to cut it and put it together. And then you cut it out and then you have a pattern. And then you put that pattern to the fabric or to the foam if you need to build it up more, and then to the fabric, and then you just make the changes that you need to make. And then you sew it all together, you put it on top of the boot, and it sits there. You can glue it down onto the boot for extra security. For instances like this where you've got that white base, and there you can basically have all of this, that fabric color, like the white there, and then put an extra piece of foam over the top there to have that steel cap kind of look. And then yeah, that's everything in regards to your boots. And then just yeah, add that on top. Tail trick. Your tail is technically shorter than Flirt's, so you'll have a little bit more ease of what you can do in terms for it. For your tail, I would recommend doing the... Oh, hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate. Let me take a sip. Use the strategic cut method, because this is the best part for you. You can hide the support belt under the Irby. So you can hide it under that easily. You can kind of like slip it in under that. So the support belt will sit there. You've got the support like of the tail coming through there. You would get the mattress foam. And like I explained to you guys earlier, what you're going to do is you're going to put strategic cuts in different points. Don't bring it too close to the center. You need a good gap from the middle. It's just enough so that when you bend it towards where the cut is, so when you go this way, these cuts close up and these open slightly. There are a lot of good references that you can utilize that go into more detail about that, but it will allow your tail to naturally sway back and forth as you move, because the movement of your hips and your tailbone as you're moving, because your weight will transfer from side to side, will make that move as well. Nice natural move. A lot of fursuits utilize this as well for that natural move of the suits. And then you would cut out the fabric, apply the fabric on top, make sure you've got the foam base at the end of the tail. You can then decorate the end of the tail. Sometimes people like to do on the foam base, like make it look like it's like a inside of the tail. I just used a black base of foam, so it was like a nice clean black before putting it to like the like body, and then you would have it just sitting against there, so you would have like a slight there, and then from the back end you've got the Irby, and then coming out from underneath it is the tail. So yeah, I think that is everything as per the design. I think that's everything. I don't think I missed anything, because yeah, all of that's just bias. You have the undercolor there, that would just be an undershirt. Bandages, gloves are just gloves. Use the glove trick. And then yeah, that is everything. Wowies! Where would I put you though, is the question that I'm sure everyone is asking. No one is asking. I'm asking myself. Where would I put you on the scale? You have custom fabric that would need to be custom printed or custom dyed. You have a tail. You have ears in your pocket. So true. Little pocket, just to stay. Just a little treat. I would put you... Hi, you're very tall. Biblically accurate. I'm gonna squeeze you down. Come down here. Whee! Tiny. You would not make me question my life choices yet, but it would be like on the border of it. Okay, wait, can I send you something scary though? Oh goodness, what are you gonna send me? What are you sending me? What's gonna make me rethink my life choices? What are you sending to me? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. That jacket is the same reason as Kiva. Yeah, no, same outfit, like, jacket kind of aesthetic as Kiba. Instant. You would be exactly where Kiba is. And I need to end stream anyway, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna move us across. So yeah, that's it for today. I got through, I think, half the list. I think I thought that I would not yap as much as I did. So much for a shorter stream today. Yes, so much for a shorter stream today. I thought I would go 2 hours max. I was incorrect. So yeah. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. I appreciate it a lot. Next stream will be... I don't think I've announced it yet. Wait, let me check. I have it. So, there is technically one more stream this week that has not been officially announced just because one of the people that is hosting it has not announced it, but I'm going to tell you guys. This Sunday, 9 a.m. AWST or plus 8 GMT, in other words, which is 7 p.m. on the Saturday night, is, for the Americans, 7 p.m. EST on Saturday night. Yep, 9 a.m. on a Sunday. I'm so excited. I am actually excited. I will be playing Content Warning with my brother and 2 other people. I don't think they've announced who yet, so I'm not gonna say more than that. I have multiple brothers, so you guys have to figure out which one. But yes, I'll be playing Content Warning, and then next week we'll have 2 streams as normal. I'm trying to decide if I'm game enough to do a normal Valorant stream again, or if I want to do a bit more practice before I go back to streaming Valorant, because I've been working hard and learning. Fingers crossed no spiders for— oh god, fingers crossed. I saw it in me referencing things I don't normally reference. I saw it in the Snot collab and I was like, oh no. Oh no. So hopefully I do not get made victim into seeing that one. I would prefer not. But I'm also very unlucky, so I probably will. I need to stop touching this bottle. It keeps making noise. Anyway. Let me just check something very important before we continue, because I know who exactly we're going to go lovingly— oh yeah, no, I know who we're raiding today. I didn't even need to think about this one. So guys, make sure you bring your #1 love and support. We are going to raid someone who is super special to me, who is doing a very super special event right now. If you can donate, make sure you do your best. If you cannot donate, please make sure you retweet their content. Make sure you send them a lot of love. Be loud, cheer them on. They are currently doing a donathon to try and visit Ofkai, which means I get to stay with— like, I get to hang out with them. We're gonna be staying together. So, like, support them so that I can meet Nova. This is my selfishness. I want to hang out with Nova. So please, give them lots of love. Give her so much support. I love Nova. Nova's my bear. So big supports that way. So I'm going to set up that raid. And in terms of announcements, thank you so much everyone for all of your support with the covers. We are so close to hitting some very big milestones at the moment on the YouTube channel, and that is insane to me. I will be likely next month running a special self-challenge of recording a couple of songs, like a couple of snippets a week. A couple of snippets, not full songs, but like pieces of songs, probably a cappella, of like some songs that I have been learning over the last few months. So if you have ideas or themes that you want for that, for example, you're like, oh, I want you to sing a Mads Buckley, or I want a Star Kids musical song from this specific Star Kids musical, put that in the tweet comments so that I can log them. Please get all of your friends to comment on my tweet in regards to the animal thing, because if you thought I was yapping today and you want to hear more of it, you need to get your friends to comment on that tweet, because there is something that I am working on where if you want to hear me talk for hours about stuff, you need to make sure your friends are commenting. You need to comment on the tweet so I can collect them all. Please. This is very important to me. Please ask your friends to answer the question. Harass them, annoy them, lovingly bully them like all friends do. Oh my god, I'm going to info dump like there is no tomorrow. I just need those answers. I need as many as I can get to make this as effective as possible. You are getting next level Mari surprising you all with Neopets content, like info dump levels. So you gotta trust me on this one. Annoy your friends into commenting. Please, for the love of God, annoy them into commenting. I need that tweet with like 30 like different posts with multiple animals to make this the best I can. But anyway, the best number in... Oh, it's gonna be better than you think. But anyway, we'll go across. We'll go say hi to our beloved Nova now. Why is it not showing me Nova? Oh my god. Give me a second. It's not letting me. Alrighty, so as we say at the end of every stream, stay safe, make good choices. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Okay, good night.